Decisions on the football field must be made in a split second. When buying a home, it is quite the opposite. Let Carol Looney and her staff at American Heritage walk you through the process with ease. They will make sure buying your dream home doesn't become a nightmare. From the first showing until the keys are in your hand, go with the realtors that have called Harrisonville home since 1981. American Heritage Realtors, office located next to Sonic on Commercial, or go see them at americanheritage-realtors.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Memorial Stadium on the campus of Harrisonville Middle School. And it's that time of year again. Friday night lights are back. Yeah, we start them early here in Missouri. 24th of August, we had a couple of nice days, and now it's 175 degrees humidity. And we're ready to rock and roll from Harrisonville. Gary Davidson, are you ready for another season of Wildcat football?
Well, I was ready when basketball season was over. So, I mean, if that tells you anything about what I think of football, absolutely. And looking forward for a good season from the Wildcats.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of question marks obviously going into the season, as it is for everybody at the start of the year. You know, high school, different than any other medium when it comes to football. You have turnover every single year. Your kids graduate. Obviously, college level deals with it a little bit too. But, you know, we don't know exactly what we got with these Wildcats. I'm going to tell you something, folks. These first 4 games of the season is going to tell us a whole lot about our Wildcats, because Coach Maxwell, I was talking to him last Friday at the Jamboree, and I said, man, I look at that schedule each time I look at it, and it gets a little bit tougher each time. And he goes, I looked at it the other day, and I thought to myself, who's the idiot that scheduled all these games? And he goes, oh, wait, that was me.
I'm the AD, so I must have scheduled them.
Right. He goes, so we were kind of joking about it a little bit, but it was all, you know, this is why Harrisonville is in the playoffs every single year. Not to toot the horn because we do Harrisonville games. There's a reason at the end of the season Harrisonville's always there in the mix in Class 4. That's because of their early season schedule. You got Kearney at home. We got a rematch of the 2016 state title game at the beginning of 2018. You don't have that a whole lot where you play a state title rematch. Obviously, it's a year removed, but we've got it. Then you look at other things. Next week, they go up to Maryville, the defending Class 3 state champions. They've lost like 4 games in the last 6 years. Then the week after that, you go up to Class 6, Blue Valley Northwest, on the Kansas side. Then week 4, you come back home and you have Columbia Battle, a Class 5 powerhouse. So, you know, people are like, why do you schedule that? But because when you do that, then you hit the conference season, you know what you got as a team. You're battle-tested and you're ready, Gary, and that's why they're at the end of the year.
Well, you know, a lot of that started back in 2003, obviously, when really the significant run of Harrisonville football really came into play. They were always playing teams that were a class or 2 more. You know, when Bouchard was here, that started there. You know, Litters came in, continued the same thing, and obviously Max as well. You know, if you play teams above you, you're going to get better. If you play down, then that creates an undue sense of security that you're better than you actually are. And so that's what I like about playing teams like this. You know, we got some new teams on the schedule we've never seen. I mean, you're talking about we haven't played Maryville for, I don't know, ever.
2003, before the first state championship, they played here in the semifinals in what has been dubbed the Sand Bowl or the Sand Game, if anybody knows what we're talking about. My father-in-law, I'm going to have to make a little bit of fun of him. He was the athletic director at the time, Ron Dunham, and it had rained.
He brought all that sand in.
It rained all week, and so they didn't obviously want to give up home field advantage. Who would? So they brought a bunch of sand in to try to absorb it, and it made it a slow track, if that's what you want to call it, in that Class 3 semifinal.
However, both teams played on the same field.
Absolutely.
I mean, I realize that, you know, they may have felt like that they had a better running game or whatever the case may be. They would have been better off on a less sandy track, so to speak.
Well, payback could be next week because we go up and play on some grass up there. So we'll see what'll happen.
I guess it could be, and so then we're playing Battle. We're playing Blue Valley, one of the Blue Valley teams. So, and we've got a new conference, team this year as well. We don't have Grain Valley in the conference this year. Warrensburg has picked that up. So, we've got a little bit of a different schedule. But I like the schedule. I like the opportunity to do some of the things we're doing. And I was thinking earlier, about things that have happened in the past year. Feels like yesterday we were at Excelsior Springs playing basketball.
Yeah, I think as we get older, Gary, that's what happens. The years kind of go together a little bit faster. They say time flies. I've got a 4 and a 2-year-old. It seems like just yesterday it was just Ange and I and Chase every once in a while on the weekends, and now I got a 4-year-old in preschool now, and I got a 2-year-old. She's going to be 3 next year going to preschool. I'm like, whoa, wait, slow down. Time, slow down.
It doesn't slow down. The older you get, the faster it goes.
It definitely does not slow down. We don't slow down. We're here for another season of Wildcat football, brought to you by several sponsors. We got to thank all our sponsors, because without them, we don't get this on the air. We've had some new ones step up. We got the old ones that we've had each and every year that have been with us since the start. We want to thank all of our sponsors. We'll get to all of them throughout the game. Right now, it's the pregame show brought to you by Sherwood Community Bank. Sherwood Community Bank, Harrisonville's best spot for youth savings and teen checking accounts. Stop by one of their 4 locations for the details. Member FDIC. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with your Sherwood Community Bank pregame show.
At some point over the years, every Wildcat has had a meal at Applebee's. The next time you head to Applebee's in your Wildcat gear, mention the Wildcat Special and receive a 10% discount. Applebee's of Harrisonville on Rockhaven Road, Caddy Corner to Quick Trip. Serving families in the area since 1929. The Atkinsons take great pride in being members of the community. They will soon graduate a 4th-generation Wildcat. With this kind of commitment to Harrisonville, Atkinson Funeral Home will be there for you. As always, they are proud sponsors of the Harrisonville Wildcats.
The Harrisonville Square is quickly becoming a shopping destination, and a big reason why is Birdie's Boutique and Antiques at the corner of Lexington and Pearl Street. Birdie's offers a unique combination of fashionable clothing, furniture, accessories, home decor, and gifts. For the ladies in your life, it's the place to take them. With a little bit of everything, they are sure to make you leave with something new. So the next time you want to go shopping, head up to Historic Square and check out Harrisonville's newest hot spot for fashion, Birdie's Boutique and Antiques.
Welcome back to the Sherwood Community Bank pregame show. Harrisonville's best spot for youth savings and teen checking account, Sherwood Community Bank. Visit one of their 4 locations for details. Member FDIC. And it is getting closer to kickoff, Gary Davidson. And let's talk about some starters for your Harrisonville Wildcats. Stafford & Stafford Insurance, Harrisonville's best lineup of insurance. Give them a call today. Offensively for the Wildcats, a little bit different look this year offensively for the Wildcats. We'll talk about the offensive line. You're going to have Brody Rogers, Trevor Campbell, James Fuller, Christian Cooper, C.J. Caterly, along with Miles Jennings, Carson Graff, and also Jacob Poisel. And Gary, we'll talk about that real quick. By design, they're rotating because all of those guys are going to be on your defensive line as well. So they're trying something a little bit new here this year.
Well, and I think there's a study for both ways, and I know for the longest time, they platooned and you only played offense, you only played defense. But sometimes you get a better product by being able to play the best players but not play them every series on every down. Give them a break, but that's where the fourth quarter comes in. That's where conditioning comes in. We'll see, because especially in the first several games of this year when it's 80, 90, and 100-degree temperature and even hotter there on the AstroTurf, that we'll see how the conditioning has gone through the year.
So those guys up front, they're going to be protecting first-year signal caller, number 11, Landon George. He's going to start for the Wildcats. Got some time before he got injured in Pittsburgh last year. So he's not totally wet behind the ears, so to speak. He's had a little bit of action. Junior quarterback, very athletic, and it'll be interesting to see in his first varsity start how he comes out here tonight because, we're throwing him the Wolves right away. Kearney, 4 or 5-time state champion, playing a 5-time state champion, 10 state titles between the two schools. It's going to be a good game.
And I think if you had asked Landon, he would say, bring it on. That's the kind of competitor he is. And he is a junior, but the fact remains is he gets the opportunity to have 2 years at that, barring any injury or anything like that. He's got 2 years. So start off with the best. Play the best, and it's going to make you better.
And then you talk about your ends or your wide receivers. Kennedy Atkinson, Colby Knowles. Colby got some action last year, had some good big catches for us. Kennedy Atkinson was just a freshman last year, only a sophomore. But, we talk about it every year. There's always 3 or 4 kids that just pop up out of nowhere, so to speak, the next year in Harrisonville football because you always think, well, man, we're losing a lot here. And the next thing you know, they've got 2 playmaking wide receivers. Kennedy Atkinson, only a sophomore, but over 6 foot tall, very athletic. He had a great catch last Friday night in the Jamboree, about a 30-yard touchdown pass. Literally went up over the back of the defender, grabbed the ball from him, pulled it back, and pulled it down for a touchdown. So you've got that at the wide receiver position. And then you got in the backfield, you're going to have Carson Crowley, Brandon Tarwater, and Jaden Wilson. Carson got a little bit of time last year, but the other 2 newbies in there. And then when we get him fully healthy, I think you'll see a little bit of Isaiah Patrick back there as well. But no reason to rush him back in these first 4 games. We kind of talk about not meaning anything. Yeah, you want to win all of them, but you want to see what you got after those 4 games to be competitive for conference and then obviously districts down the road. So that's the offensive starters for the Wildcats.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the first time that Isaiah touched the ball last year, he broke it from like the 25 or 30.
Hit a 64-yard touchdown against Green Valley, I believe.
And left everybody in the dust. So, yes, we will see him, but obviously it's important that we get him healthy. We need him more at the end of the season than we do at the beginning of the season.
And for the Kearney Bulldogs trying to slow down that offensive attack of the Wildcats, it'll be up front, Colt Post, Aaron Hoffman, and Cade Hampton. The linebackers, Dane Corum, Corbin Beaven, Garrett Laughlin, and Chapper McCourty. And your secondary is Xander Kent, Joey Ebarb, Michael Lee, and Brad Hogan. And those are our starting lineups, brought to you by Stafford and Stafford Insurance, Harrisonville's best lineup of insurance. Give them a call today. So we're about 15 minutes or so away from your opening kickoff here. We're live from Memorial Stadium on the campus of Harrisonville Middle School. New turf put in last year. Beautiful turf field here in Harrisonville. The black end zones with the blue Wildcats in the end zone. Gigantic Wildcat at midfield. New video board up. Last year was the first year for the new video board. I think a lot of people, Gary, sometimes when they get here, have not been here, they are like, whoa, this is a Class 4 school? And that's what's always crazy to me is the way the Kansas City area treats kind of football, as opposed to you go down south, you pass over, besides take Webb City out of the equation because they're obviously football school, but Southwest Missouri, you go into any place down there and their gyms are like these football fields. They got double deckers, they got field houses, they've got video boards, but you move up the highway about Clinton and up, then they start treating their football fields like this, and it's fun to see. Kearney's got a great football field up there as well. We've been up there a couple years. They've got turf up there now, and, what a better way to start the football season here. We have multiple state champions on both sides. They played each other in 2016. Only about 60-ish miles separate the two, and they went all the way down to Springfield to play a state title game.
Yeah, but it obviously turned out great for Harrisonville that year. I mean, we had a great run that year. It was, if I'm not mistaken, that was Max's first or second year taking over the program. Did a wonderful job, and obviously things have changed a little bit in the coaching staff this year. He's going to step away. He's going to be the head coach, and pretty much that's it. And then you're going to see the offensive going to be more run by Tom Meeks. And then obviously Schinker is going to be taking care of the defenses he has in the past. So obviously those three have been together for a long time. They know each other. They know their tendencies. They know what each one of them likes. And so I think it's going to give, obviously, Coach Max a little bit more of an opportunity to spend time coaching. And obviously he's got other responsibilities as well.
All right, well, we're going to step away for a couple of minutes and getting ready to play the national anthem. You're listening to the pregame show brought to you by Sherwood Community Bank. We'll be back after this.
It's happened to all of us, running a few minutes late and not enough time to drive somewhere to get out and go in to get a coffee, tea, latte, or delicious muffin or cinnamon roll. Good news, Brew Daddy's Coffee is now open and boasts Harrisonville's only drive-through coffee shop. Quick, convenient, and delicious is exactly what Brew Daddy's is for you. Opening at 6 a.m. and staying open all afternoon on Fridays to give you that caffeine boost before the game. Brew Daddy's Coffee right next to Commerce Bank on Commercial.
Teammates on a football field are a must. That's why Cameron Chenoweth of American Family and Lacey Dominick of Shelter Insurance are teaming up to give you options in the insurance market. They know you have choices, and they want to work together like the Wildcat football team to make sure you have the best insurance coverage out there. To see what their team can do for you, call Cameron Chenoweth at 816-380-3996 and Lacey Dominick at 816-380-2700. One of the scariest things to do is to take your car to a mechanic. No reason to be scared when you have the best mechanics around right here in Harrisonville. Colby and the crew at Colby's Car Clinic are all ASE certified mechanics with the latest equipment to keep your vehicle running smoothly year in and year out. Add new tires and being a rough country lifts and accessory dealer, Colby's Car Clinic takes the fear out of getting your car fixed. So give Colby a call at 816-380-3000 or go see them in the big blue building behind O'Reilly's. It's 6 p.m. and your family is discussing what to eat for dinner. We've all been there. Everyone wants something different. So make it simple. Go to Forged by Fire in Harrisonville for a little bit of everything. Salads for mom, and a wide variety of them at that. The steak for dad, a Boss Burger for your growing boy, and chicken strips for the little one. The next time you need a variety of food with extra options to satisfy everyone in the family, make the one stop to Forged by Fire in the Price Chopper Shopping Center on Commercial.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Harrisonville, Missouri. We're on the campus of Harrisonville Middle School Memorial Stadium, and Friday Night Lights 2018 is just about 10 minutes away. It's the Sherwood Community Bank pregame show. Sherwood Community Bank, the best spot for youth savings and checking accounts. Stop by one of their 4 locations for details. Member FDIC. So, Gary, we're just a couple of minutes away. Time for some keys to the game tonight. You know, obviously, I think key number 1 is play within yourself. Don't get too hyped up. Don't be like, yeah, this is a state championship type of team. Don't get too hyped up. Go out and just play your game. Act as though it was a scrimmage like it was last Friday night, and just take care of business that way.
Yeah, and, you know, from a quarterback perspective, obviously, because I've dealt with that from the parent side of it, it's he's going to need to go out. They're going to need to protect him. The better start the better start you have, the better finish you'll have. You know, so I think I'm sure the coaching staff, even though he played a little bit last year, I think the coaching staff wants to get him into the game slowly, so that way it will create positive impacts for later on.
I think key two, start quick. You know, come out. You know, I'm never opposed to one of those guys. I know we run the split back veer, and it's one of those things that you just keep working and keep working. It's finally going to work. I'm one of those guys that come out, you know, out of the split back veer formation on 1st down and 10 and chuck one about 40 yards downfield and see if one of your big lanky wide receivers can come down with a play to start the ball game. So that'd be me. Start quick.
And that's obviously because Kearney knows us, we know Kearney, okay? So they know what we're going to normally run, okay? So if you throw something at them that they're not expecting, who knows? They may be coming up for that split veer, and the chuck over the top, they're not going to be prepared for.
And, last key for me is take care of the football. That's the one thing that can get kind of iffy at times in the split back veer when you've got new guys running it. Everybody's got to get that timing down. So just take care of the football all night long, because if you start having the fumble rooskies, and you start having the, scared, you get a couple fumbles early, you know what can happen. It happened a couple of years ago against Platte County, 11 turnovers later and a 49-0 drubbing. So take care of the football.
I'm going to add one more, and that was one of our nemesis last year. And that was that little yellow thing that kept coming out of pockets. It seemed like, we started off bad. I mean, when I say bad, we seem to see it quite a bit. We seem to get better towards the middle of the season, and it got worse a little bit towards the end of the season. We've got to play with maturity, and we've got to play under control of ourselves. And, that is something that can kill a drive or keep a drive going for another team. And so you're always going to make mistakes. You're going to have penalties, but we've got to control them. We can't have 10 and 12, 15 penalties a game.
Or just have the most inopportune penalties. I mean, it seemed like last year we'd get on a roll. We'd have a 45-yard gain. Oh, personal foul, bring it back. And you're like, what are you doing? Or they forced a 3-and-out, and they got a personal foul because they hit the quarterback. Like, those are little things that you gotta take care of.
And those are things that are controllable. There's other things that there's going to be a mistake where you're going to bump somebody on a receiver, or a defensive back's on a receiver, and things like that. Those are things that are going to happen, but those ones that you can control, keep yourself under control, and that's going to control the little yellow things coming out of pockets of referees.
All right, those were our keys to the game. We're going to take another timeout. We'll be back with your coin toss and your opening kickoff. You're listening to the pregame show, brought to you by Sherwood Community Bank. Only locally owned and managed bank, member FDIC. We'll be right back.
Everybody has that one friend's house they love to go to with cool decorations and a relaxed environment. The Garage Burgers in Harrisonville is like your friend's house, an amazingly fun place with names of all of its visitors adorning the walls with old racing gear throughout. Make it your place to go next time you want a fun and terrific dinner. With 20-plus burgers, amazing appetizers, and ice-cold drinks, the Garage is your stop for fun and excitement. Now open late on Fridays. The Garage Burgers on Commercial across from Young's Tire. When you live in a small town, you need someone you can trust to buy a used car from. Steve Holland with Holland Auto Sales is that guy. Selling cars in Harrisonville for 35 years gains you that trust. Used car dealers can come and go, but not Steve. Holland Auto Sales, with 3 generations of Hollands graduating from Harrisonville, means he will be here for years to come. So go see the guy who the Grammer family trusts to buy from. Steve Holland with Holland Auto Sales on Commercial Street, just past Burger King.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Memorial Stadium. Both teams have taken the field. We got the coin toss coming up. Take your extra coins to Sherwood Community Bank and start a savings account today. We'll get you the results of that coin toss here in just a couple of minutes. You've been listening to the pregame show, also brought to you by Sherwood Community Bank. And, Gary, I'm kind of excited about the Sherwood Community Bank new commercial this year. Braxton, my 4-year-old, is at the very end of it. So the first time people hear it, they'll be like, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm a dad, so obviously I'm a little partial, but it sounds pretty darn cool if you ask me. So one of our great sponsors, we have tons of sponsors this year, and I want to thank each and every one of our sponsors this year. American Heritage Realtors, Applebee's, Atkinson Funeral Home, Birdie's Antiques and Boutique, Brew Daddies, American Family Insurance, Cameron Chenoweth, and Shelter Insurance, Lacey Dominic, Colby's Car Clinic, Forged by Fire, The Garage, Holland Auto Sales, Max Motors, Salon 114, Kaleidoscope, Sherwood Community Bank, Show Me Auto Mall, the South Cass Tribune, Stafford and Stafford Insurance, the Trade Fair, Troby's Maytag Home Appliance Center, Young's Auto, and Young's Tire. Those are all of our great sponsors on Harrisonville Radio, 4Ts.com. Our third year of doing high school football. We did the state playoff run in 2016. Then we were under kind of incognito. It was CBK Broadcasting / 4Ts. And last year we went straight to 4Ts. And we're glad that we can bring you this action. In the little over 2 years that we've done this, we've had over 25,000 people watch us, Gary. That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty scary, to be quite frank with you.
Well, and we're going to have a special guest at halftime. I wonder when she comes up and we're talking, if I told her, I said, just be yourself, just talk like you're talking to me. If I tell her, well, we average about 1,000, 1,500 a week, that's all that's listening. She may fall over and faint. I don't want to do that. So, but we have followers all over the United States with grandparents, wherever they're at, that they can't make it, family from out of town. And then, every once in a while we'll get, some spies, so to speak. I know every once in a while I got a couple of guys from Webb City will text me and be like, hey, I'm listening to you. So you never know who may be watching. And, with all the technology we got these days, Gary, this is kind of a scouting tool as well for coaches now. Obviously, they've got plenty of video everywhere you turn. So,
absolutely. And they're getting ready to go to the coin toss. We've got, obviously, quarterback Landon George is out there. You got Trevor Campbell. You've got Jaden Wilson and Isaiah Patrick going to be the captains for the Harrisonville Wildcats this evening.
You know what that tells me? Something that tells me you've got a junior and a sophomore out there as team captains. Those two kids right there, that tells you what their teammates think of them, that they voted them team captains. You have a junior quarterback making his first start, and you have a sophomore that's played his whole entire freshman year is out there as a team captain. That's pretty awesome if you ask me. And then you got the two senior leaders as well.
Well, and there's also several other leaders and talking to the coaching staff and stuff, and all but one of the rest of them are underclassmen. I mean, so I don't want to. I'll say it once. Rebuilding year? No, it's not a rebuilding year. It's a young year that we're gonna improve this year. Love to see what's going to happen this year, and then I'm looking forward to not only this year but years to come.
Well, we talked about it a little bit. This is a different year for the Wildcats. So we won the toss. I would imagine we're probably going to defer to the second half. We'll see which way each team goes here in just a minute. But, they've got a lot of talent that's going to be out on that football field. They just don't have the depth they've had in years past. They stay healthy, they're going to be a dangerous team the second half of the year.
Well, they've got talent that played last year. I mean, it's not only that they've got some talent that is inexperienced, they've got some experienced talent. Maybe not at the specialty positions and stuff, but that will come. But leadership on the field doesn't always have to be at a specialty position. I mean, you look at Trevor Campbell and some of the others that are out there that played last year that had the opportunity to provide some leadership.
One of the things I like about our quarterback this year, Landon George, me and you used to talk about it all the time when Zach was quarterback. Zach had that short-term memory. He would get down on himself after a loss, feel like it was his fault, but he didn't carry that from game to game. But I mean, I like a kid that's going to be mad after a loss, but they have just the right amount of moxie. Just a little bit of moxie, just a little bit of swagger, and Landon's got that. Zach had that. Zach had that when Zach went out there. Zach had that mentality of, I'm the best player on the field right now, and I'm going to show you that I am. Landon has that a little bit in his own way. I'm not saying that he walks around acting as though he is, but mentally they've got that in their head that they can be the best player on the field and that it's going to be your job to try to stop me.
There was a prior parent of a quarterback in years past that told me first year that Zach was playing that, you've got to have a little bit of that to be able to succeed at that position. So, looks like we all lined up the wrong way, so we get a switch.
So we're flip-flopping here. It's time for our kickoff. Kick off your morning at Harrisonville's only drive-through coffee shop, Brew Daddy's, next to Commerce Bank on Commercial Street. Watch for this coverage coming up. We want to appreciate you for joining us for the pregame show brought to you by Sherwood Community Bank. We are ready for football action here, and it's going to be Brody Pitts, the soccer transfer, coming over. Brody was an all-state goalie last year as a junior on the Final Four soccer team. Switched over and is playing strictly football this year. And he's getting ready to knock it deep for the Wildcats. High end over end kick, going to be taken about the 10-yard line by the Bulldogs. Going to go right up the middle, try to find a seam, 15, 20, 25, 30. Hammered up at about the 35, 36-yard line. All the way up there he goes, and that'll be Braden Tarwater with the tackle.
Number 2 on the stop.
Holes in your insurance coverage, kind of like that kick return, and go see Brad Sainer with Farmers Insurance in the A-frame on Commercial across from Casey's. Farmers has been there, covered that. So the Kearney offense, led by Dakota Ahmu, is set to come out and take the ball. They're going to start at their own 38-yard line. Kearney in their away, white tops, white bottoms, purple numbers, purple letters, purple helmet with the gold chrome-looking, shiny helmet. Pistol formation, running back behind him in the backfield. Right up the middle they're going to go, and a 5, 6, 8-yard gain for Kearney right out of the bat. All the way up to the 46-yard line. So Connery with the carry. Cats, as Kearney had a good return all the way up to the 38-yard line, and the Cats going to start at their own 21 yards line. So -17 on the field position there. So getting instruction from the sideline. Cats still not out on the field. Only 15 seconds on the play clock, and Cats are not in any hurry to get up there and hike the ball, which is not something you like to see, so they're going to have to hurry. And they're going to get a delay of game. First play, no, they're going to call a timeout instead. That's one of those things early. You'll take that early in the first game, but at the same time, it's a frustration type of deal, probably for the coaches and for everybody. Your first offensive play of the game, and you don't run it because you have to call a timeout.
Yeah, and talking to Coach, it sounded like they were going to do a lot of hurry-up offense this year. Now, obviously, that wasn't part of hurry-up offense because you're just coming onto the field. But I think once they get out there, they're going to be signaling in the calls, which the quarterback's not going to be coming to the sideline like he has in the past, which I like because especially he's part of your running team and you don't want to waste a lot of his energy doing that. So we'll see. Let's put that one behind us and move forward.
Wide receiver left, wide receiver right, split back veer formation. George under center, 1st and 10 from their own 21. Cats going right to left here in this first quarter. And here they go right up the middle with it, and maybe a yard, if that, and that'll be it. Jaden Wilson with the carry. So they're going to give him about a yard, going to bring up 2nd down and 9. Knowles out to your left, Atkinson to your right. Georgia quarterback, and it'll be Wilson and Crowley in the backfield. Here we go on 2nd down and 9. And George this time going to pitch it back, and ball on the turf and picked up and going to be ran down to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown Kearney. Just like that, it's 13-0. Xander Kent with the touchdown, and it's 13-0. When you draw it up in the pregame show, we're coming up. So now if you're the Cats, you're just not even quite 3 minutes into the ball game. You got to regroup on the sideline, Gary, and you got to tell your guys, hey, there's still a whole football game left here. Let's have a nice long drive. Let's get some points on the board. We're down 1 score. Give the defense. Anything good has come out of this. The defense is getting quite a bit of a rest right now.
Yeah, that is true. But there's really no reason to panic at this point in time. I mean, we've been down worse than this and been able to come back. It's more important to learn from this. One of your keys to the game.
Don't put the ball
on the turf. And so, but that you've got inexperience out there right now.
And we talk about that. Split back veer is not a simple offense. You think of it as a simple offense, but there's a lot of moving parts to a split back veer. And when you have an entire backfield that's new out there. You have George, you have Crowley, and you have Wilson that are in the backfield. So because of that, that's the trouble that you got. So here we go, another kickoff, and this one is going to be taken deep, and Colby Knowles at the sideline on the far side of the field, the 15 to 20. This little stutter step up to the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Running a new thing on kick returns this year. Sonic is going to be our Sonic kick return, kind of like the Sonic Slam inning, Gary. We will have a contestant each and every week who will be put in, and if the Cats have a kick return for a touchdown, they will win a $50 gift card. If they don't win it, it goes up by $10 per week, and that gift card will get up to 60, 70, 80, and maybe towards the end of the year, it may be a big jackpot. We'll see. Our contestant tonight, Jolene Francie of Harrisonville. Split back veer formation under center is George. George looking to pass, throws it out in the flats, and tipped maybe at the line of scrimmage. Going to bring up 2nd down and 10. So 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter, and the Cats down 14-0. After the incomplete pass, the clock stops. George looking to the sideline for his play call. Again, Crowley and Wilson in the backfield. Under center is George. Going to go in motion with Percival. Up the middle they go for Wilson. No, it is George who keeps it himself on that mesh play. Pulled it back and nowhere to go. A loss of about 5. And it'll be 3rd down and long for the Wildcats. So 8:40 enrolling here in the first quarter. George under center. He's got Atkinson out to his right side, and his left side is Knowles. And here they go, looking to pass. Throws it out in the flats for Knowles, and Knowles is wide open at the 40 and tripped up at about the 45. So the Cats get that initial first down. Sometimes Xander Kent with the tackle. Sometimes that's the biggest first down to get, is that first one. And that's a Troby's Maytag Home Appliance first down. Think Troby's first when you think home appliances. 8:15 to go here in the first quarter of this one. Cats down 14-0. 3rd down conversion by Colby Knowles on the near sideline, and the Cats up to the 45-yard line in their own territory. Under center is George. And this time George looking to pass. He throws it out in the flats this time for Atkinson. Atkinson wrapped up immediately on the far sideline. That was Brad Hogan with the tackle, but a quick 5-yard pass play. And the Cats in business at midfield.
Action moves over to the far side. 2nd down and 5 for the Cats.
In conversations with coaching staff, you know, they would like to pass the ball a little bit more this year with their playmaking wide receivers. And right now, that's what's moving the ball for them, Gary.
Yeah, it is. And maybe that'll loosen up the defense a little bit. You all know that they know what we're normally going to run.
George looking up middle this time. Now he throws it in the flats. Hit immediately. And it was incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and about 5 for the Wildcats. So George took a lick in the backfield. Brings up 3rd down and 5 on the short pass there. So 3rd and 5 from midfield coming up. Kennedy Atkinson is going to check out. Colby Knowles going to go from the left side to the right side as a wide receiver.
The line the Cats go, 3rd and 5.
Split backs in the backfield. Under center is George, and up the middle they go for
and off to number 2. That's the junior running back,
Tarwater with the carry. Was said I think that was actually Crowley with the carry. So it's going to be about 4th down and 2. Cats looking to go for it here on 4th and 2. Big statement by both squads early on in this one. If Kearney can get a stop, they're going to say, you're not going to get the ball past us on a 4th down. Percival going to go in motion. Maybe Cats just trying to draw him offside here. Maybe going to call a timeout. And under center they go. And no, they're going to hike it. They're going to go to Wilson. Wilson gets a first down and a little bit more down to the 43-yard line of the Kearney Bulldogs. So a 4th down conversion for the Cats. And it keeps the chains moving. That is another Troby's Maytag Home Appliance Center first down. Think Troby's first when you think home appliances. Knowles going to be out to the right side. Percival off the end, split backs in the backfield. George under center, ball at the 43 of the Bulldogs. And George looking to pass, looking for that little route over the middle. Throws it up and incomplete, intended for Colby Knowles. And that was Brad Hogan on the coverage. So brings up a 2nd down and 10. Only thing about those missed first down opportunities is you put yourself in a situation on 2nd and long where you almost have to then pass, or you're going to have to get a good chunk of yardage. You're going to be passing on 3rd and long as well. So you limit yourself a little bit when you cannot convert on 1st and 10. We'll see what the Cats go on 2nd and 10 here. Oh, so a roughing the quarterback penalty. Did not even see that out on the field, so that'll help the Wildcats out. That'll be a 15-yard penalty and that'll take it inside the 30 down to the 27. So the Cats have the ball deeper in Kearney territory, down to the Kearney 27-yard line. Knowles to your left side. Out to your right side is Atkinson. Single back in the backfield as a second running back over on, or wide receiver on the far side, looking to pass. Down into the end zone they go. Overthrows his target. Good defense right there by Colby Knowles, as Kent and Knowles were doing battle down there, and Knowles had to turn into the defensive back right there.
There for a second, I thought, though, it was going to, since it bounced up, he might have an opportunity of getting it. Obviously, both have the opportunity.
And I don't know that Colby saw it after it bounced up in the air, because that was right by him, so he may have lost the ball after that initial bounce. So a 2nd and 10 coming from about the 27-yard line here. Cats driving, 6:11 to go first quarter. This is what the Cats needed after a catastrophe of a first couple of series for them. Wide receiver left, wide receiver right, and looking to throw George. And George is hit as he throws. So we're going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
Hitting number 18, Chopper Mordecai, the senior linebacker, once again in on the action.
3rd down and long coming up, and I'll tell you what, Cats having trouble. There's a lot of quick release on Mr. Landon George early on, as Kearney is spending a lot of time in the backfield.
Out of 12 plays, I don't think I've seen this in Harrisonville Wildcat football very long. 7 pass, 5 run.
So here we go on a 3rd and 10. You got to figure it's pass situation here. And rolling out the pass, all kinds of holding over on the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 1st down initially.
That was a wrestling takedown. Yeah, I think everybody saw that just because of the way he tackled him in the hold. So
Holding penalty against the Wildcats.
I did not see who that hold was on the Wildcats. I just saw several flags fly initially.
Thought it was Fuller. Yeah, I think it was Fuller. I'm not sure about that, but I think it was who it was.
And the bad part of that is that's a spot foul, so it almost turns into a 15-yard penalty for the Wildcats, pushes them all the way back to the 42-yard line. So now they're even out of field goal range, as that ends up being about a 15-ish yard penalty for the Wildcats, all the way back to the 42-yard line. So just outside of Archie for the Wildcats here on 3rd down and long. Wide receiver left, wide receiver to your right. And George looking to pass. And he's got pressure off the end. He throws it over the middle. Caught by Colby Knowles. He got a big chunk of it. Got about 20, down to about the 25-yard line. And it makes it a 4th and manageable for the Cats, 4th and about 7 yards. Best part of that play to me right there, Gary, is you had a quarterback that stood in the pocket.
We talked about this.
And took the hit knowing he had somebody coming off the end.
He stood in there. He stood in there as long as he possibly could to let his receiver break and get in the open before he threw it.
So we're going to bring up 4th and 7. You got to figure they're going for it here in no man's land, about the 25. It would be about a 43-yard field goal. So they're going to go for it on 4th down. And looking to pass into the flats they go, and Percival cannot hold on to it. Kind of threw it behind him, and it's going to be a turnover on downs down to about the 27-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 24-yard line. We got a whistle and a timeout. We've got an official's timeout. This is the water break. We'll take a timeout as well. You're watching 4Ts.com and Wildcat football.
To go to with cool decorations and a relaxed environment. The Garage Burgers in Harrisonville is like your friend's house, an amazingly fun place with names of all of its visitors adorning the walls with old racing gear throughout. Make it your place to go next time you want a fun and terrific dinner. With 20-plus burgers, amazing appetizers, and ice-cold drinks, the Garage is your stop for fun and excitement. Now open late on Fridays. The Garage Burgers on Commercial across from Young's Tire.
When you live in a small town, you need someone you can trust to buy a used car from. Steve Holland with Holland Auto Sales is that guy. Selling cars in Harrisonville for 35 years gains you that trust. Used car dealers can come and go, but not Steve. Holland Auto Sales, with 3 generations of Hollands graduating from Harrisonville, means he will be here for years to come. So go see the guy who the Grammer family trusts to buy from, Steve Holland with Holland Auto Sales on Commercial Street, just past Burger King.
Cats had a pretty solid drive, just couldn't cash it in. That big penalty hurt them, knocked down that drive. So Kearney takes over at their own 24 on 1st and 10, up 14-0.
But it was a good 12-play drive, 50 yards. I mean, and so they controlled the clock. The other thing is, you control the clock, the other team doesn't have that many more opportunities to score.
So 2 wide receivers set to the right side. Pistol formation again. Connery going to take it, and the Cats all over it in the backfield this time. Brings up 2nd down and about 11.
And what do we say about being able to adjust and need be?
I've maintained it. I've been doing this for 12 years with Harrisonville, and one of the things, or my 12th season, one of the things I've always said is Coach Shanker, one of the best at making adjustments on the fly in game. On 1st and 10, he gets the stop. A tackle for a loss will bring up 2nd down. 2 backs again, and this time they're going to throw it out in the flats and got their man up to about the 30. Gain of about 6. Wrapped up immediately on the tackle. Carson Crowley with the tackle. Brings up a 3rd down and 5. This would be a big 3 and out if the Cats could get it here. So 3rd down and 5 coming up. Connery in the backfield, pistol formation. Amu in the pistol with 2 wide receivers out to his left side. This time they're going to fake it to Connery. He's going to look to pass. Nowhere to go. Cats flush him out, but Connery comes back to the backside, screen pass, and gets up past the 40 to about the 45-yard line. So got out of the hands of 55, Cooper, and ends up with a big 1st down on 3rd down and 5. So a little backdoor screen action there as the safety valve, Connery, stuck around in the backfield and picked up a big chunk of yardage up to about the 43-yard line. Brings up 1st and 10 for Kearney, just outside of Wildcat territory at their own 43. Amu, I think he just lost his mouthpiece. Picks it back up, taking his time. 2 wide receivers set. Looks over the sideline now. This time they're going to give it to Connery. Goes over to the near side here to the 45. Spins out of the tackle up to about the 50. Isaiah Patrick and also Jacob Poisel on the tackle. So it brings up 2nd and about 2 right at midfield. So Kearney again moving the ball here. Now a shotgun look. 2 wide receivers to the left side. Amu going to hand off to Connery. Connery going to try to cut back right through the hands of Jacob Poisel and gets a couple extra. It'll be a 1st down to the 47-yard line. Cats struggling to wrap up and tackle here in this 1st quarter. And Connery's not a swift back by any means. He's a big guy. He's going to bruise you, and that's what he's been doing all game, just hitting his holes and carrying guys for a couple extra yards.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of yards after contact in the first 2 drives that the offense has been on the field.
So 3:02 to go here, 1st quarter. Long 1st quarter of action here with the way things have gone so far. Pistol formation again for Amu. Wide receiver left, wide receiver to the right. And this time they get it to Connery. Kind of tripped in the backfield, but still maintains balance enough to get a couple of yards. Christian Cooper along with Isaiah Patrick in on that stop. And Jacob Poisel brings up 2nd down and 8. So Kearney looking to the sideline. Amu going to go with a 2 set out to the left side. And it's going to be Stevens out there along with Ersick. So 2 wide receivers left, pistol formation. Amu with Connery in the backfield behind him. And they're going to throw it out in the flats, and that is caught and close to another 1st down. Going to be about right at the sticks. We'll see if he made it or not. No signal yet. It's the officials waiting on the far side. Looks like maybe they're going to measure. So we got an official's timeout here. They're going to measure. See, it's pretty close. The sticks are right over there by you. Think they're going to be a little bit short. And it will be third down for the Bulldogs, down about the 37-yard line. You know, I was talking to Dion Clisso of Preps KC, and I said, you know, I don't know what to expect out of this game. I said, what can you tell me about Kearney? And he goes, they got their running back and their quarterback back, and everybody else is pretty new. You're seeing it here tonight. They're feeding the tailback that they had last year and using the quarterback effectively, and it's worked so far.
Yeah, and really on that play, I mean, it was just that was really a call that obviously the quarterback was able to make. When he came out, he was able to fake or give and see if his receiver was open. So, I mean, obviously they're putting a lot of work on the quarterback, but I like that type of a play because it gives the quarterback an opportunity to make his own call.
So it's third and short. Play clock has not even started yet as they reset the ball.
And this can be a dangerous play. Third and an inch, you can either be an over the top because they know that you're going to come back and be able to get a fourth down.
And a quick snap right at the quarterback.
With a flag.
And we'll see personal foul face mask on us. That's why the helmets came off. They call that. Let's see here, but it's going to be a 15-yard penalty. And so the Cats, you know, 1:54 to go here in the first quarter. And Gary, you know, if you look at early on in this ball game, it's been mistakes by the Wildcats that's the difference in this game. You had the fumble that was returned for a touchdown. You had the penalty on third down and short that turned it into third down and long. And you had the missed tackles on the third down screen pass. And now you had another penalty on third and short right there. So mistakes early on for the Cats costing them. And Kearney is deep in Wildcat territory, down on the Wildcat 18-yard line. Two wide receivers set to the right side. This time they're going to go Connery. Why not? It's been there all night long. He's going to get 3 yards, and he's just tough to bring down. Finally, Isaiah Patrick hammers him on the far sideline after he broke about 4 tackles of the Wildcats.
He strung out about the 15-yard line. Isaiah Patrick, number 24, the senior linebacker, in on the action. Gain of 3 yards in the play. Second down.
Stevenson on the tackle originally, but the tackle was broke. Going to bring up a second down and about 7. Wide receiver to left, wide receiver to right, pistol formation for Amu. He's got Connery in the backfield. And here they go. They're going to feed the beast. And right up the middle he goes, inside the 15 to about the 11. Going to bring up third down and a couple. And again, another situation for the Wildcats here on a third down. Try to get their team off the field. Brody Rogers comes out of the ball game as they rotate another lineman in there. Like C.J. Caterly comes into the ball game for Brody. Wide receiver left, wide receiver right, third down, and they're going to say 3 here for the Bulldogs. And they're going to feed Connery, and Connery's inside the 5 and hammered down at about the 3-yard line. And it's going to bring up a first and goal with 21 seconds to go in the first quarter of play.
On the senior, Patrick Connery, so first and goal to go for the Bulldogs.
So first down and goal coming up. Ball at about the 4-yard line. Pistol formation for the Bulldogs. We'll see. They're going to snap it before the break. And again, Connery, this time he's hit immediately as he gets inside the 5. Brody Pitts on the tackle along with a couple other Wildcats. And that will end the first quarter of play. So 1 quarter in the books. The Wildcats trail 14-0. In damage control here, trying not to make it 21-0. We'll be right back after this.
It's happened to all of us. Our printer out of ink and need an important document printed. In Harrisonville, that can spell disaster. Not any longer, though. Kaleidoscope Digital Services has you covered with inexpensive printing services. No more trips to the city just to get a copy made. And that's not all. Computer on the fritz, they'll take a look. Wi-Fi needed for workspace, and even starting a local gaming community plus new board games to try. Head up to the historic Harrisonville Square and check out Kaleidoscope Digital Services on the corner of Wall and Independence Street.
Thank you, Kansas City, for making us the fastest growing Ford dealership in the Midwest. As a show of our appreciation, we are continuing You Pay What We Pay sales event. That's right. Going on right now, you pay what we pay on any new Ford on our lot. All invoices are clearly displayed. The highest trade-in values and the best financing ever are going on right now at Max Ford of Harrisonville. The lowest prices and a hassle-free shopping environment makes us the easiest place to buy a car. Max Ford of Harrisonville at the I-49 and 291 exit, or anytime at maxford.com.
All right, welcome back. Second and goal coming up from about the 3-yard line. Wide receiver left, wide receiver to the right. Amu in the backfield in that pistol formation has Connery behind him. It's been Connery's show tonight as they have fed him, and he has done well. They're going to go in motion here from right to left. Now they're going to go with the touchdown run by Connery, not even touched. And it's 20-0. Wildcats trail in this one. So first play of the second quarter equals a touchdown. And the Cats trail 20-0 in this ball game. So, we talked about it, Gary. Early season, you got one quarter in the books, you're down 21-0. You've seen some good things. The defense has obviously tightened up after a couple of big plays they've given up. But Kearney just playing smash mouth football right now and beating us at our own game, so to speak. Kick is up. Kick is good, and it's 21-0. We'll be back right after this.
Salon 114 on the historic Harrisonville Square is happy to sponsor this year's Spirit Spotlight, which highlights a different Wildcat cheerleader who has excelled on the team each week. While the stylists at Salon 114 are extremely busy, they are excited to announce the addition of a full-spectrum infrared sauna. This new addition is available to anyone and comes with an array of health benefits. Sessions are available. Sessions are available with flexible times and by the minute. That makes now the time to call at 816-651-3722.
All right, welcome back. Kearney set to kick it off, going left to right here in this second quarter will be the Wildcats. Kicking from right to left will be the Bulldogs. Cats in their home blue tops, white numbers, black trim down the side with the Wildcat in white. Blue helmets with the Wildcat, white pants with blue stripes. First down and 10. Kickoff. And remember, Jolene Francie, our kick contestant here. If the Cats return for a touchdown, that one goes out of bounds and out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cats from their own 20-yard line. Remember, you can sign up at 4Ts.com for the Sonic Kick Return Contest. Started at $50 with a gift card of $50, and it goes up $10 every week. The Cats do not return one for a touchdown. So get your name in today. Tonight's contestant, Jolene Francie of Harrisonville, looking to get her a $50 gift card. So 1st and 10 coming up for the Cats from their own 20-yard line. 11:55 to go here in the first half of this one. All Kearney in this one so far. 21-0 our score. 3 wide receivers, 2 to your right, 1 to your left. George throws it out to the far side, left side, caught by Colby Knowles, a 5-yard reception. bring up a second
On
down.
the stop, assisted by number 29, is Joey Ebar, the senior defensive back, making his first stop tonight.
So second and 5 coming up for the Wildcats.
On the far side, from the
Going to call it 6 here.
George under center, and here they go.
So George, wide receiver left, wide receiver right, split backs in the backfield. Percival off the end, showing blitzes Kearney. And here's George. He's going to keep it himself, pitches it back, and another flag on the Cats as they get it outside to Wilson. He gets the first down originally, and a hold on the Wildcats.
Penalty flag is thrown between the seams at about the 24. Pursued out of bounds by number 8, Brad Hogan.
So we're going to bring up a second and longer now. We've about second and about 16 coming up for the Wildcats. You know, the only thing that I see that I don't like body language wise right now by the Wildcats. A lot of hands on hips, a lot of heads down. Like it's like one of those things we talked about in the pregame show. We talked about Landon George. He got a little bit of moxie. He forgets what's already happened. And I feel like the whole team right now is just thinking it's like this waterfall that's happening right now, and they got to be able to snap out of that.
It's flat, but that's where experience comes in, and that's where the leadership comes in.
Wide receiver left, wide receiver right. This time George gives it right up the middle, nowhere for the Wildcats to go. Brings up third down and about 17 for the Wildcats. Carson Crowley on that carry. So third down and long coming up. And this is where you get in these situations. You got these third and long Garys. They've been able to get some yardage on pass plays, but right now Kearney can kind of pin their ears back knowing exactly what's coming up right here. This is a third and long. You got to figure they're going to try to pass. So split backs in the backfield, under center is George. George takes the snap, looks, throws downfield, and incomplete. And again, Landon George gets hammered after he releases it. Cats are going to have to do a better job of getting him some time. Fourth down and long, punt coming up for the Wildcats with 10:26 to go. So 21-0 our score, and Kearney about to get the ball back. And again, Gary, that one play ends up costing them a drive, and it was a penalty. And you know, we talked about it. This is the inexperienced part. This is having a lot of new faces at your positions out there, at your skill positions, so to speak. It's like Colby Knowles to punt it. And nowhere for Knowles to go, and he gets it off after a little squib kick. And it's going to roll, gets a good roll up to about the 45-yard line. Colby lucky to get that one off. Cats tried those rugby-style kicks last year, and Ryan Bird was very solid at doing those last year. It's going to be a first down and 10 for Kearney, and it's going to be on the Wildcats side of the field. 21-0 Kearney with a lead, and still 10 minutes to go in the first half of this one.
Cats defensive unit already out on the field to play. Kearney coming out to the field. They'll have it first and 10.
First and 10 coming up for the Kearney Bulldogs. 21-0 the score.
Here they go.
So two wide receivers set, pistol formation. Amu has it, and he's got Connery behind him in the backfield. And they're going to hand it to Connery, and he's going to bounce to the outside near side. Hit by Jaden Wilson, but gains 6-7 yards. Finally taken down, and again, Jacob Poisel with the tackle. Brings up a second down and 5, so a 5-yard gain by Connery. Connery got to be getting close to 100 yards.
15 carries, 99 yards. He's knocking on the door. You were pretty close, but you weren't even cheating.
I wasn't. I didn't even look. I just said he's got to be getting close to 100 yards, and he's at 99. And on how many carries? 15?
15 carries.
So brings up a second down and about 5 for the Bulldogs. Amu in the backfield shouting to his line of scrimmage. Now he's going to go shotgun formation with Connery right next to him in the backfield on the right side. And 2 wide receivers to the right side. This time Amu going to go right up the middle.
And hopefully I think that's going to be a holding on their 61. So I'm taking down.
Hunter Mills going to be called for the penalty, I believe. as any lineman would say. What, me? What'd I do? So that'll be a 10-yard variety, going to bring up second down and 10. So it puts them back in their own territory, their own 49-yard line. We'll bring up second down and about 17. So second and 17 coming up. Ball at their own 49-yard line.
And we need to take advantage right here of their mistake, and that way we could get the ball back in fairly decent field position, hopefully.
So second and long. And Amu rolls out the pass, throws it far sideline, hit immediately on the far sideline, but caught by Stevens. Tarwater with the good hit, but a big chunk of yardage back. They're going to get 12 on that. Brings up third down and 6 now. So third and manageable for the Bulldogs here from the Wildcat 40-yard line. Amu showing some athletic ability there to roll out and hit his target on the run. Split or shotgun, I should say, pistol formation. And the Cats bringing the blitz and overthrow the target on third down. It'll bring up fourth down. So to bring up fourth down, you see if Kearney wants to kick it here. You know, they don't have anything to lose right now. They're up 21-0. They're in Wildcat territory. Looks like they're going to go for it here on fourth down and 6. They've been able to get 5 and 6 yards. Right here, Gary, this is where you look for a little misdirection or a counter. That's where they got the big chunk of yardage here early in the ball game. Pistol formation for Amu. Connery behind him in the backfield. 2 wide receivers set to the left side. See if they do want to snap it, or if looks like they're going to go for it here. They could call a timeout. And a timeout is going to be called by Kearney, so maybe they will try to kick it here on fourth down and 6. So we'll take a timeout as well. Cats trail 21-0. Big fourth down coming up.
It's never too early to teach your little ones about finances and saving money. Sherwood Community Bank has plenty of options available for you to help kids save and learn how to manage money. Savings accounts can be started as soon as one is born to help teach them to save. Once they are behind the wheel, a checking account with free internet banking and a debit card could be there for them to manage their money. Sherwood Community Bank is there for the youngsters. Just ask Braxton.
Go see them at Sherwood's Bank. That's where my account is.
There are a million places to buy a used car, so why not go somewhere you know lives by the Show Me State motto? The staff at Show Me wants to show you that Show Me spirit. Excellent service, affordable prices, and even loaners while you get your cars serviced. With 2 locations to serve you in Harrisonville and Belton, they will put you in your dream car, truck, or SUV, and if they don't have it, they'll find it for you. So drive on over to Show Me Auto Mall and drive away with your next car.
All right, Kearney set to punt now after the timeout, and they're going to try to pin the Cats deep. High end over end kick, but not a very deep kick, and it's going to bounce at about the 15-yard line, and Cats going to get the ball back from their own 15. So Cats defense has toughened up a little bit here after that initial drive. Obviously, 7 of those points come on the fumble return. And the second time, just the one big play, a big penalty really on that second drive to keep it going. There's 2 plays on that second drive that stick out to me, Gary. That was the third down screen pass with big yardage, and then it was third and long, and they had the penalty that kept that drive going. So first and 10 for the Cats. 8:42 to go here first half, going left to right. Landon George going to be under center. Wide receiver to his left, wide receiver to his right. Crowley and Wilson in the backfield. And this time he's going to hand it off for Crowley, and Crowley goes nowhere. gets back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. So 2nd and 10 coming up for the Cats. Ball at, looks like the line of scrimmage here. We got a official waves it off. It stops the clock real quick. Looks like there's a penalty flag at the ball. So it was a personal foul face mask on Kearney. So that'll get the Cats out of the shadow of their own end zone here.
Well, that gives them 4 first downs, and 2 of them are by penalties. So hopefully that'll give them a little bit of life here. Like you said, get them out of the shadow of their end zone and get them another new set of downs to start with.
This is where you start, kind of playing time games in your head. You get a drive and a touchdown here, you're down 21-7. If you can get a stop, you're going to get the ball back after the half. So you got to start thinking there. A touchdown and 1 stop, you could maybe get 14 points in the 2nd quarter, and you could tie it back up at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. That's a big, tall order right now, the way the Cats have not been moving the ball. And Crowley goes right up the middle this time, finds a little bit of running room on that right side, brings up 2nd down and about 3, so a 7-yard gain by the Wildcats.
Gain of 6 yards on the play.
Gain of 6. Stevenson came out of the game, looked like something with his helmet. So 3rd down coming up, or 2nd down, I should say, for the Cats. George under center, wide receiver left, wide receiver right. Percival off the end on the right side. And George going to throw it out in the flats for Atkinson. Atkinson spins out of a tackle and gets all the way up for a first down to about the 44-yard line. And I was getting ready to say you don't want to spin right there. You just want to fall forward for the first down because he spun back behind the line, and he ended up working out for him to get another couple of yards, and it moves the sticks. That's another Troby's Maytag Home Appliance. First down, think Troby's first when you think home appliances. 1st and 10 Cats from their own 44. Wide receiver flanked out to the left side, split backs in the backfield. And this time they're going to go up the middle for Wilson, and Wilson loses a yard or 2.
Looks like a loss on the play, brings up 2nd down.
I think it was a terrible spot. It looked like that forward progress might have got him back to the line of scrimmage. You're going to say it was a couple-yard loss there.
So 2-yard loss.
So going to bring up 2nd down and long for the Cats from their own 42-yard line. This is where that instant replay would come in handy. Check on the spot on that one. Wide receiver, 2 of them out to the left side. And looking to pass is George. He's got time. Popped up in the air and intercepted by Kearney.
Oh, intercepted on the deflection.
So it pops up out of the hands of the receiver,
It was intended for number 3,
Colby Knowles. And it popped up. That's the 2nd time the ball's popped up in the air like that with Colby Knowles. And this time was intercepted, and Kearney going to take over from their own 48-yard line. 2nd turnover of the ball game for the Wildcats. And they trail it 21-0. And Kearney has it at their own 48-yard line. So Cat D needs another stop here with 6:27 to go in the first half of this one. You know, we were just talking about it a while ago. You start thinking about what you can get done. Now you got to think of getting a stop, trying to get a points on the board before half to get the ball back and only be down 7 if you can get a couple of touchdowns. Right now, Kearney clicking on all cylinders. Cats not right where they want to be yet. 1st down and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 48-yard line. Here comes the Wildcat D back out on the field. Pistol formation for Amu. Connery behind him in the backfield. Two wide receivers set to the left side. And now looking to pass is Amu, and he's looking deep. He's got a man wide open, touchdown. Brody Pitts was on the coverage. And just like that, Xander Kent with the 52-yard touchdown catch, and it's 27-0 Bulldogs with 6:19 to go first half. That's a perfect example, Gary, right there of the running game opening up your passing game.
Yes, it is, because they really, they had passed a little bit before, but they had obviously probably about 3 times as many yards or 4 times as many yards running as they had passing. One of those first plays, kind of like you said, coming out of the sticks with us, out of the game with us, first play, throw one of those long plays, and that's exactly what they did.
Fizzle set to kick it through for the Bulldogs. Sorry, Frizzle. And here comes the Frizzle kick. It is up. It is good. And it's a 28-0 Kearney Bulldog lead. 6:19 still to go first half. We'll be right back.
When you want all the latest news about the Wildcats, turn to the South Cass Tribune. A large sports section, honor rolls, robotics, and even news and notes from all 6 Harrisonville campuses. They are sure to have you covered. They are happy to say the Wildcats are their hometown team. Find the Tribune around town at various establishments, or get a subscription delivered right to your mailbox. Keep up with everything each week in the South Cass Tribune, Harrisonville's home news source.
All right, welcome back. 6:19 to go first half. 28-0 our score. Wildcats trail into this one. It's been all Kearney. Really the first big play of the ball game, besides the fumble return for the touchdown, was that play right there, 52-yard touchdown, and that was just set up. Kickoff brought to you by Harrisonville's only drive-through coffee shop, Brew Daddy's, right next to Commerce Bank on Commercial. But
there you saw Isaiah Patrick down there. He's trying to get him. They're down 28-0, but he's trying to fire him up. That's the senior leadership that you need when actually it comes to being able to come back from something like this.
Right, and here's the bad thing for poor Isaiah is only coming back from that ACL. He's not playing. He was going to play 1 quarter tonight. Originally, he wasn't going to play till game 2, a quarter against Maryville. But in talking to the coaching staff, they don't really want him playing against Maryville because they got that grass field. So I don't think we'll see him at all next week. Flag on the play there would be Cats ball from their own 20. We'll see. Looked like it was on the Bulldogs. Sportsmanlike conduct. So that'll push up the 35-yard line. Not real sure what that was about. I didn't see anything.
Sportsmanlike conduct on White. 15 yards.
Sportsmanlike penalty.
Ball up to the 35-yard line. Cats will take over. Best field position start for the Cats here tonight. Landon George brings his team out again. 2 wide receivers out to his right side, 1 to his left in Knowles. It's Percival and Atkinson out to the right side. Crowley and Wilson in the backfield. George under center. So here we go on first down. And Landon George throws it for Atkinson and cannot come up with it. Brings up second down and 10 with 6:14 to go.
The senior linebacker, so second and 10 for the Wildcats.
I like what they did there. They're rolling him out to get him away from some trouble, knowing that they were having especially some backside trouble. And it was a good throw. It was a little high, and he wasn't able to come down with it. But I like what they're trying to do here with that.
And we'll talk about it a little bit at halftime, about this first half in different things. 3 wide receivers now out to the left side, 1 back in the backfield, looking to pass. This time they throw it down the sideline and incomplete on the far sideline. I believe that was intended for Crowley.
Deflected by number 3, Xander Kent. Intended by number 22, Carson Crowley, the junior.
And that's not going to be good because that's probably in the vicinity of a hold, and it is.
Penalty flag is thrown. The 33 between the Saints will wait for the goal.
I'll tell you, this game reminds me a little bit of the game several years ago up at Kearney, where our quarterback was Sam Cooper at the time. This predates your son even, Gary. And Sam just did not have any time in the pocket to throw the ball, or they didn't have any time to get the ball up the field. Kearney dominating both sides of the line of scrimmage here tonight.
Yeah, they are.
And you don't see that a lot with a Harrisonville-led team. And, again, it's the first game of the season, so a lot of things are going to work itself out. And you're not playing an average everyday opponent for your first game either. So wide receivers, 3 out to your right side, 1 to your left. George under center on second down and Peculiar. Make it third down now and long. Landon George again. Both ends come around and swallow up Landon George. So it is third down and 28, or third down and about Raymore. So
I was going to say Belton, but they're about the same distance.
Belton, Raymore, third down, and we'll go with Belton here for the Wildcats. Wide receiver to your left, 2 to your right. Under center is George on third and long, and nowhere for Landon George to go. Ball was actually handed off. Jaden Wilson, it brings up fourth down. 5:15 to go first half. And what has been all Kearney Bulldogs here. Fourth down coming up, and a timeout going to be called by the Bulldogs. We will take a timeout as well. Cats trail big in this one. We'll be right back.
A strong starting lineup is a key to a great team. Insurance is no different, and Stafford & Stafford Insurance has the best lineup in town. With personal, commercial, health, life, farm, and crop insurance, they have you covered. 40-plus employees are there for you to find the best rates, walk you through claims, and make sure they are there for every step of the way. So if you're looking for a full-service insurance company with a strong starting lineup, go see the folks over at Stafford & Stafford Insurance on Commercial Street across from Holland Auto Sales.
All right, welcome back. Going to be fourth down and long for the Wildcats. Going to have to punt it away deep in their own territory here. 4:57 to go in the first half of this one. It's been all Kearney Bulldogs as they lead it 28-0.
Back to the contest we go. Fourth down situation for the Cats.
So Colby Knowles back at about his own 3-yard line to try to punt this one away. Connery stands at the Wildcat 45. And Knowles going to kick it away. A terrible kick off the side of his foot there. Goes out of bounds.
Punt goes out of bounds.
And it'll be Kearney Bulldog ball at about the Cat 25-yard line. Punt, just one of those things. Sometimes the ball rolls down the hill, picks up a little bit of a steam. Just anything that can go wrong for the Cats so far has gone wrong tonight as they trail at 28-0. And one of the situations here, Gary, is that you're not helping yourself out in situations like this. They're having a lot of short fields as well.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, anything inside the 50, and last one was only 2 yards on the other side of it, so it's 52 yards. So
here we go, pistol formation, Amu to Connery. Connery right up the middle, and a flag. See if they're going to call a hold there on the Bulldogs. It is in the vicinity of a hold. The ball carrier was going up the middle. So 28-0 our score here in this one. Still 4:44 to go before halftime. It's been a kind of slow-moving first half in this one.
Only penalty against Kearney.
So it is on the Bulldogs.
Number
That will pass, push them back about 10 yards here. Pushes them back to the Wildcat 33-yard line, so just equals out to a 10-yard, even though it was right at the line of scrimmage. So 10-yard penalty. 1st and 20 now for the Bulldogs. Amu in the pistol formation. Connery behind him in the backfield. In motion. Amu just going to hold on to it. Runs it right back up the middle, into the middle of the field. Isaiah Patrick in there on the tackle. Brings up 2nd down and about 15. So looked like he was going to get a little bit more out of that, but Isaiah Patrick closed quickly on the tackle right there.
You know, we're talking about youth. I got to say this. One of Zach's teammates, younger brother, a freshman, Joshua Pesic, is out there playing linebacker right now. He's a freshman. And they thought he was going to make a tackle there, but
dropped. Amu put it right on the money down to about the 10-yard line, and it was dropped by Tommy Alvader, and it brings up 3rd down and long for the Bulldogs. So 28-0 our score, 3:56 to go here until halftime. So 3rd and long, you got to figure it's a passing down here for the Bulldogs. Not necessarily, obviously, their kicker does have a little bit of a leg on him. Maybe you just get it manageable 4th down situation where you can kick a field goal here. Amu in the pistol, wide receiver to his left, wide receiver to his right, Connery in the backfield. Amu to pass. He throws it over the middle, incomplete. Overthrows his intended target, Stevens, and it brings up 4th down and about 17. And looks like they're going to try a field goal.
by the way, Connery's still at 99 yards.
Going to be about a 45-yard field goal attempt here for the Bulldogs.
And he has the leg for it. I was watching him warm up. He was kicking 70 yards, and he kicked one of the kickoffs out of the end zone. Not into the end zone, but out of the end zone.
So Frizzell.
Plus, he's got the wind behind him as well.
Absolutely. So Frizzell looking for a 45-yard field goal here. Kick is up. Kick
it's got the
distance. Good. 45-yard kick. 4-3, and it's 31-0 Kearney with 3:42 to go in the first half. We'll be right back.
You need multiple things for a project at home but don't want to go all over the city to find it? You need to go see Tom and Lonnie Cook at the 38,000 square foot Trade Fair Mall. Over 200 booths with Amish-made jelly, new and used furniture, antiques, toys, and a little bit of everything you can think of. Harrisonville's Trade Fair Mall can be your one-stop for everything. Whether it's your first time to Harrisonville or you've been here for years, the Trade Fair is definitely a see-it-to-believe-it type of place right across the street from Sutherland's.
All right, welcome back. This kickoff brought to you by Brew Daddy's Coffee. Kick off your mornings at Brew Daddy's, Harrisonville's only drive-through coffee shop right next to Commerce Bank on Commercial Street, the brand new business. So 31-0 our score, 3:42 to go here in the first half of this one. It's been all Kearney Bulldogs. And Frizzell set to kick it away. High end over and kick into the end zone. And it will be Cats ball from their own 20-yard line. So 3:42 to go. This is where you need what they call a confidence boosting drive right here, Gary. Just try to put something together going into the locker room. Bad thing is when you're down 31-0 in a game, you pretty much got to go through the air. And that means Kearney can kind of pin their ears back, and we've seen it being in the backfield all over Landon George in this first half. So here comes George and company, and they're going to go spread it out a little bit here. As Knowles and Crowley going to be flanked out to the left side. Atkinson to the right side. Single back in the backfield is Wilson. Throw it out in the flats for Knowles. Knowles gets some yardage up to the 35-yard line. Going to mark him at the 34.
The senior defensive back, change move. That'll be good enough for a Harrisonville Wildcat.
So first down, and that is at Troby's Maytag Home Appliance Center. First down. Think Troby's first when you think home appliances.
And that looks like an easy throw, but that's a difficult throw to step back and throw to the sideline, especially with them a little bit on the move.
So 3 wide receivers set now, out to the right, 1 to the left. And again, to pass is George. He rolls out in the flats, gets Percival to the 40, and past the 40 up to about the 42, 43-yard line. Kearney trying to strip that ball out. Tackled down up at the Laughlin, trying to strip the ball out there with the tackle. Another Wildcat first down. Think Troby's first when you think home appliances. Wildcats. Wilson in the backfield. George going to be under center. 3 wide receivers out to the near side, right side. All alone is Knowles on the top side. On the left side, under center we go. George looking to pass, rolls out, nowhere to go, and he is hammered in the backfield. Loss of about 12 for Landon George. Going to say at the 35, so a loss of 9 on 1st and 10. So second and long coming up for the Wildcats.
Unfortunately, when he rolled that time, he rolled into the blitz from the backside.
And it almost looked like a broken play, in my opinion, because it looked like he was looking for a handoff there, and there wasn't anything there. So this time they're going to go in motion, and George going to keep it himself. Gets a couple of it back. Leg tackled up the 38-yard line. Mordecai with the tackle. Tripped him up, and it looked like he had a little bit of running room right there. And Mordecai, we've heard his name all night long. Heard it echoing through my headset as you hear the PA announcer Kevin Thomas hollering out his name. So third down and long for the Cats. 3 wide receivers left side, 1 to the right. Wilson in the backfield all alone. Under center is George, and now they're going to throw it, and looked like it slipped out of the hands of Colby Knowles there. Little wide receiver pass.
And Atkinson had his guy beat. If it hadn't have slipped, good pass, he would have been able to take it for 6.
So 4th down and 17 coming up. 1:27 to go here before the half. So wide receiver, split out left side, 3 to the right side in punt formation. Here comes the Colby Knowles punt. Running kick on the rugby style kick, and it rolls inside the 10 to the 9-yard line where it blows dead. And Colby Knowles took a lick there, but when you bounce out of the pocket like that as a punter, you're fair game. So he's got to be able to know he has to take those licks, as he did, and it'll be Kearney Bulldog ball.
1:15 left to play in this first half from Memorial.
So 1:15 to go here in the first half. Ball down inside the 10 at the 9-yard line with 1:15 to go. Kind of interesting situation here for Kearney. Do you go for the jugular and try to get a big play before the half, get yourself up plus 35, would be 38 if they got a touchdown, or do you just settle for going into the locker room up by 30 plus?
So I say they go back to what got them the first couple of series, and you just take it back to Connery. And
so there's a whistle by the officials here. Personal foul on Kearney. Pushes it back inside the 5 on a half a distance.
Foul against Kearney. Half the distance to the goal.
So 1:15 to go. Wide receiver. Going to be 2 of them out to the right side now. Somebody switching in and switching out. Go with a tight end on that side, so it'll be a wide receiver left, wide receiver right. Going to be pistol formation. Amu going to be standing at about his own goal line. Connery in the backfield. And now another whistle here.
Moo's got an equipment problem, it looks like.
Tie his shoes here. So Amu standing at the goal line. Connery in the backfield. Hand off to Connery. He's got it at the 5, the 10, the 15 to the 20. He's got running room and tripped up finally at the 25-yard line. Tripped up by 38, Kyron Beavers.
Number 38, Kyron Beavers. And number 6, Brody Pitts.
So Kyron Beavers with the stop. Brings up a 1st and 10.
For the Bulldogs. Action on the far side from the 25. 104 and rolling at the play in the half. Here we go.
Wide receiver left, wide receiver right, pistol formation again for Amu. And again, hands off to Connery. No, good play action pass by Amu as he faked it to Connery. Had me faked out and rolled out. Tried to hit his tight end, incomplete. Brings up 2nd down and 10. 51.9 to go.
So 2nd down and 10.
Looking to the sideline for the play call. Kearney puts those big boards up on the far sideline a la Oregon with different things up on them. And this time it's going to be Connery. Cuts back, gets about 5 up to about the 30-yard line. Over 100 yards on the night is Connery. And with 40 seconds to go, the clock will roll here in the first half. 35 seconds to go.
Also, number 62, the junior defensive lineman Brody Rogers making his 2nd start.
2 wide receivers set to the left side. Timeout going to be called. So somebody called a timeout there. Timeout brought to you by Young's Auto Repair. Does your car need a timeout? Go have it checked out at Young's Auto Repair.
And if I can, I want to make a shout out to my wife. After 30-plus years of law enforcement, she retired on July 31st, had a couple of receptions for her earlier this month. And just got to say a big shout out for her. I mean, first woman ever to work as a Cass County deputy on the road, and all the way through the ranks to the rank of captain, where she retired at after, like I said, 30 years of law enforcement experience. So, and service to the community, not only Cass County, but citizens of the state of Missouri.
Well, while we're giving shout-outs, I'll give you a shout-out as well. You're retiring at the end of this season, or at the end of the year, from the Missouri Highway Patrolman, 30-plus years yourself.
33 and a half, yes.
Appreciate your service. And we're going to talk a little bit later in the game. We're going to talk about something pretty cool that's going to happen at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
And we will talk about that a little later. But it's going to be a 3rd down and long coming up after this timeout. Wide receiver left, wide receiver right, split or pistol formation in the backfield. And they're going to hand it off to Connery. Connery's going to get it up to the 30, to the 35. Got a block past the 40 and wrapped up by Crowley and Pitts on the near sideline up to the 42-yard line. Clock will stop momentarily as they got to move the chains, and it'll bring up a 1st and 10 at about the 43-yard line, at their own 43-yard line.
16 seconds left to play in this first half.
Halftime show brought to you by Kaleidoscope Digital Services, coming up here in about 16.3 seconds, so join us for that. It's been a long first half so far.
And I think this answers your question. Kearney using their timeouts, they weren't willing to just go ahead and run out the clock. Up 31-0. They're wanting to put some more timeouts, more points on the board, and go for the juggler if they can.
Another timeout. Does your vehicle need a timeout? Go to Young's Auto Repair and have them check it out right behind the garage on Commercial Street. Young's Auto Repair. 16 seconds to go in the first half of this one. 2 wide receivers set to your right side, pistol formation. Amu has Connery behind him in the backfield. All Kearney Bulldogs in the first half of this one, leading at 31-0. And the pistol formation, Amu looking to pass, Cats blitz, and it's Poisel chasing him out of the pocket. Brody Rogers out there too. Almost picked off on the far side. If they could have got to that one, Carson Graff, he had some daylight there. That could have been definitely a game changer. Now you want to see what do they try on fourth or on second and long here with 9 seconds to go as the dangerous pass dropped incomplete.
Second down and 10. Got all that. Carter Norris, his second attempt tonight. Second time they threaten the ball. So second and 10, 9 seconds left to play.
So two wide receivers out to your right side, in tight on the left. Amu looks to the play call from the side. Hollers it to his teammates. We'll back off the left end here. And Amu going to take it, going to hand it off to Connery. Connery going to try to get to the outside of the 40, to the 50. Inside the 50 to the 40, breaks a couple of tackles. Now Brody Rogers chasing him, and Connery going to go into the end zone as time expires in the first half of play. That right there, folks, is about the microcosm of the way the first half went for the Wildcats. You thought Kearney was just going to try to run out the clock, and instead, poor tackling leads to a 50-plus yard touchdown run, and the Kearney Bulldogs have a 37-0 lead going in to the half, trying to make it 38-0. So we await the extra point here, 37-0 our score.
And that drive started on the 4-yard line.
And we talked about the field position battle. Well, this time they didn't need it. And now this time Amu going to throw it deep into the end zone for a 2-point conversion. When it's going right for you, Gary, as Amu just held on to the ball and was able to get a 2-point conversion, and Kearney leads it 39-0 at the half. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with your Kaleidoscope Digital Services halftime show after this. You're listening to and watching high school football on 4Ts.com.
What is your time worth? Think about it the next time you head to the city to spend hours and days shopping for home appliances and to save a few dollars. Instead, drive across town and see Erlene and her staff that's right here for your convenience. You can be in or out in a short amount of time with amazing service, a great product, and they always treat you like family. Located behind Hawthorne Bank on Plaza Drive, so spend all your extra time you saved cheering on the Wildcats, and remember, think Trobies first when you think of home appliances.
When it comes to fast service at a reasonable price, Young's Auto is your place. Whether it's a standard oil change, brake check, or something a little more major, Michelle and William with Young's Auto Repair will make sure you get back on the road quickly with a little change left in your pockets. So if you don't want to break the bank when your vehicle needs service, come to the shop that keeps you rolling down the highway. Young's Auto, right across the street from Young's Tire on South Commercial.
Decisions on the football field must be made in a split second. When buying a home, it is quite the opposite. Let Carol Looney and her staff at American Heritage walk you through the process with ease. They will make sure buying your dream home doesn't become a nightmare. From the first showing until the keys are in your hand, go with the realtors that have called Harrisonville home since 1981. American Heritage Realtors, office located next to Sonic on Commercial, or go see them at americanheritage-realtors.com.
All right, welcome back. It's the Kaleidoscope Digital Services halftime show. The Kaleidoscope Digital Services on the Harrisonville Square is your one-stop for printing, computer service, Wi-Fi, and gaming. Go see Harrisonville's best computer solutions at Kaleidoscope Digital Services. You know, first half, that was just one of those first halves that, you know, you wad it up, you throw it in the trash can. There's nothing you can do about it. It's here. It's done. You're down 39-0. You got to come out in the second half and play it like it's a new ball game. I know you're down 39-0, but you don't want that to spiral into 49 or to 56-0. I mean, the last play of the first half was a microcosm of the first half for the Wildcats. You had a busted play, Amu able to get up and roll around and throw it for a 2-point conversion instead of a missed extra point, and it's 39-0 at the half. soccer getting underway here this week, and we'll get you, as the year goes on, we'll get you some updates of soccer from Schroeder Chiropractic. They're proud to sponsor the Wildcat Soccer Seconds and the soccer team's progress. Schroeder Chiropractic, they got your back. So we have the Silver Sensations out there on the field right now. Wildcats trail in this one 39-0 at the half. Not the way you want to start a season, but me and Gary will get into it here in a little bit, as you know, you just sometimes you have these type of games. Spirit Spotlight brought to you by Salon 114 and Birdie's Boutique and Antiques, both on the historic square, are proud to bring you the Spirit Spotlight. Tonight's Spirit Spotlight cheerleader is Alexis Royal. Alexis is the daughter of Mike and Tanya Royal. This is Alexis's fourth year at Harrisonville High School cheerleader, and she is currently serving as the fall varsity captain. Favorite thing about cheerleading is becoming family with everyone on the cheer team. Her favorite teacher is Mrs. Kump because anatomy and psychology is amazing. Alexis's coach are excited to have her as a captain this year. She is dedicated to cheer and works daily to make the team stronger, both on and off the sideline. Having overcome serious obstacles in the past, Alexis is the model of perseverance and hard work. We are so proud of the woman she has become and are grateful that cheerleaders grades 8 through 12 have a role model for her to look up to. And that is our Spirit Spotlight, brought to you by Salon 114 and Birdie's Boutique and Antiques on the historic square. Proud to bring you the Spirit Spotlight. We will take another time out here. It is your Kaleidoscope Digital Services halftime show, and we'll be back with some halftime stats with Gary Davidson right after this.
No matter how many things you've had on the menu at Applebee's, everyone has their favorite. Whether it's an appetizer sampler, chicken fajita roll-up, or 3-cheese chicken penne with a side of buffalo sauce, you always go back to your favorite. At some point over the years, every Wildcat has had a meal at Applebee's. The next time you head to Applebee's in your Wildcat gear, mention the Wildcat Special and receive a 10% discount. Applebee's of Harrisonville on Rockhaven Road, catty corner to Quick Trip. Serving families in the area since 1929. The Atkinsons take great pride in being members of the community. They will soon graduate a fourth-generation Wildcat. With this kind of commitment to Harrisonville, you know Atkinson Funeral Home will be there for you. As always, they are proud sponsors of the Harrisonville Wildcats.
Now, welcome back to Memorial Stadium on the campus of Harrisonville Middle School. It's everybody's first night on the clock, as you can tell. As Jerry, he goes, "You can have it," and I go, "Now?" So you hear our random conversation in the background. But anyway, it's halftime. It's the Kaleidoscope Digital Services halftime show. Kaleidoscope Digital Services on the Harrisonville Square is your one-stop for printing, computer service, Wi-Fi, and gaming. Go see Harrisonville's best computer solutions at Kaleidoscope Digital Services. Gary, you know, as Braxton is at home, my wife, Angela Braxton, listening, and Collins is probably running around being crazy. Braxton, I said right before the break, I said, we got to wad it up and throw it away. Well, apparently Braxton didn't like that idea. But that's what you do with a half like that. There's nothing, you can't go back in time. We talked about short-term memory in the pregame show. You've got to have short-term memory. You got to come out in the second half, and it's one of those prideful things. You come out in the second half, get a touchdown, and see where it goes from there. You know, that's what you got to do, and you got to play prideful and maybe try to get back in this ball game. Way I always look at these type of games is they scored 39 points and a half. Why can't you score 39 points and a half? You know, it just kind of went downhill. You had the 5-play drive to start this ball game for Kearney, and then they got a touchdown right off the bat. Just 2 minutes gone by, then the wheels fell off. You had the pitch that bounced to the turf, led to a return, makes it 14-0, and then the Cats kind of put a tourniquet on it for a little bit. It wasn't bleeding too bad. And then, you know, the ball just rolled downhill after that. They had the 52-yard touchdown pass. Then they had the play at the very end of the half that should have never gone for 52 yards. It was a little dive play up the middle. and they bounced it to the outside, made a couple people miss, gets a touchdown. And that was just kind of a microcosm of the way this first half went for the Wildcats. When something small happened, it turned into something big.
You know, this gives them experience. Sometimes, you know, losses, nobody wants to ever lose a ball game, but losses aren't always a bad thing, especially when they really don't mean a whole lot as far as the whole season. They'll learn a lot from this. They'll learn a lot from this, and not only that, it is going to help them be prepared in the future. It's just part of the game.
What you don't want to happen is it to be a mental thing after this ball game. If let's say you lose 39-6 or something tonight, you don't want to take that into the locker room after the game and into practice next week thinking, man, this could be a long season. Because your first 4 games are a tough stretch, and 0-1 can easily turn into 0-2, 0-3, and 0-4, and you don't want it to happen. So, but at the same time, it can kind of be a benefit to you a little bit, especially for your game next week. Because a Maryville team may be like, oh, Kearney, or, you know, Harrisonville's down. And, you know, that's what's going to happen after this game regardless, is everybody's going to say, regardless of what the outcome of this game is, if it ends up being a 35-42-point loss for the Wildcats, oh, well, Harrisonville's down this year. Well, nobody remembered that we're playing one of the best Class 4 programs in the state of Missouri. They got 4 state titles for a reason. We've got 5 state titles for a reason. So I dare someone down the road to take Harrisonville lightly, thinking that they're having a down year. This is one of those halves. You throw it away. Braxton, yes, you wad it up and throw it away, and you come out in the second half and see what can happen.
Right. And because of the youth of this team, it's going to be up to the coaches, which you've got a very experienced coaching staff, and it's going to be up to the leaders on the team, the senior leadership and those younger leaders that are on the team to be able to bring that team to where they need to be. They've got to mentally be prepared, and the coaches are going to be able to help them. To kind of go a little bit of the stats here real quick so we'll know, Harrisonville ended up with only a total of 85 yards. They had 81 passing and about 4 rushing. They had the ball 11 minutes and 30 seconds. You'd think that if time was even, the game would be somewhat more even, because Kearney only had it for 12 minutes and 30 seconds. However, Kearney had 284 yards. And like you mentioned, a couple of backbreakers. That first drive was 5 plays, and it was 62 total yards. And then that last drive was 6 plays, 92 yards. Don't forget, they started on the 4 and went all the way down, and they only got the ball with about a minute, just a little over a minute left to begin that series. And so,
you know, here's the thing. Okay, that first drive, that was all Kearney. That was fundamentally sound football. They go down, they punch us in the mouth, they go up 7-0. But after that, it was mistakes that cost Harrisonville. You have the fumble return for a touchdown. Boom, it's 14-0. Okay, then you start moving the ball down the field. You get into Kearney territory. You're like, okay, you get a touchdown here. It's 14-7. 3rd down and 5 or 3rd down and 6 turns into 3rd down and 20 because of a holding play. And then, boom, you're stuck again and you don't get a conversion. That was Kearney's probably worst field position of the first half there. But then you have it 14-0. You have a 3rd down and a revert, like a screen pass to the backside on a broken play turns into 20 yards and a 1st down. You would have had a 3-and-out right there. So another mistake. And then you allow them to get a touchdown because you have another penalty that kept the drive going later in that. And then it just snowballed from there. And things like that can happen. Hey, guess what? 2016, I specifically remember a football game against the Platte County Pirates. They got beat 49-0 in that football game. 10 turnovers. It was whatever went wrong, could go wrong, went wrong. Hey, guess what? I think 2016 turned into a pretty good season.
I believe it did. And again, losses and mistakes aren't always bad if you learn from them. And so I can't say that we are going to learn from them, but past experience with the Harrisonville Wildcats says that these types of games they learn from. Coaching staff prepares them for the next game. They look at the film, they watch the mistakes that they made, and they better themselves. So the missed tackles, maybe they were in the wrong position, things like that. That's where they're going to learn. They're starting out, as you said a while ago, they're starting out with a very tough schedule, a very tough first game. Hey, that's great. If we get beat, so what? As long as it's not where you begin, it's where you end. And
they don't give out trophies in August.
Absolutely not, and there's a reason why.
I always say that, November's for the big boys, and that's what Harrisonville's playing to get to. So, you know what? Let's see what happens second half. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to be back with a special guest to talk about something after this. You are listening to and watching 4Ts.com on the Kaleidoscope Digital Services Halftime Show. We'll be right back after this.
Atkinson Funeral Home and Cremation Service has been serving families in the area since 1929. The Atkinsons take great pride in being members of the community. They will soon graduate a fourth-generation Wildcat. With this kind of commitment to Harrisonville, you know Atkinson Funeral Home will be there for you. As always, they are proud sponsors of the Harrisonville Wildcats.
The Harrisonville Square is quickly becoming a shopping destination, and a big reason why is Birdie's Boutique and Antiques at the corner of Lexington and Pearl Street. Birdie's offers a unique combination of fashionable clothing, furniture, accessories, home decor, and gifts. For the ladies in your life, it's the place to take them. With a little bit of everything, they are sure to make you leave with something new. So the next time you want to go shopping, head up to Historic Square and check out Harrisonville's newest hot spot for fashion, Birdie's Boutique and Antiques.
All right, welcome back to the Kaleidoscope Digital Services Halftime Show. Got a special guest here right now. One of the things we do here with 4Ts, it isn't just about giving you a football game. It's also about community. And without our community, our sponsors, and our community that listens and watches these games, we wouldn't be here. And I got a special guest. Let you introduce yourself.
My name is Diana Lawful.
And Diana is going to talk to us about a spaghetti dinner fundraiser for a special person in our community battling pancreatic cancer, I believe.
Yes, that is right. A lot of people may know the wife of this gentleman, Jody Angel. She's been a lifelong Harrisonville resident. Worked with the Red Cross, just gave and gave and gave her whole life, and so I feel like it's time for us to help give back to them.
Tell us a little bit about this fundraiser. Obviously, we talked about it a little bit. We know how healthcare goes,
yes.
and healthcare skyrocketing cost. I mean, I know how it goes with being only one of us working, me and my wife. I understand how expensive it can get. So I know you guys are wanting to raise money for those deductibles so that it won't be so much out of pocket for them.
Yes, that is right. He is starting a chemotherapy program, and with insurance paying their portion per week, the copay is $500 per week.
And that is insane to me.
It's insane.
With me being in college, and our deductibles went up through the roof twice what they were supposed to be from one year to another with having two kids and me on insurance. So I totally understand that, and I hope that we can do something, raise some money for them. And where is this spaghetti fundraiser going to be, and how can people get involved?
Sure. The spaghetti dinner is going to be on Saturday afternoon, September 1st, at the Harrisonville Church of the Nazarene. They are members there, and so the church is reaching out and letting us use the building. And it is from 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 7:30 that evening. Okay, now, how can people, if people just want to give, is there a GoFundMe page set up, or is there somebody they can contact if, let's say, like we may be out of town, with it being Labor Day weekend, so people could be out of town. Yes, that is true.
What is something people could do if they just wanted to donate to the cause?
Absolutely. They can contact me. I believe that Jerry is putting that information on the 4Ts site. Again, my name is Diana Lawful, and my phone number is there. They can contact me. I also have tickets for the dinner. They are $7 in advance and $8 at the door.
So very, very, very affordable.
Yes.
A spaghetti dinner, take your whole family up there.
Absolutely.
Feed them. Who wouldn't like to not have to clean up dishes that night?
Absolutely.
So on a Saturday night, go and get you a spaghetti dinner, and it goes to a great cause. I believe it's benefit Roger Myers is who it's going to benefit with some of the bills. So I appreciate you coming up and appreciate you putting this together, and we will, we'll get the 4Ts community together and get this going for you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to come and invite people.
No problem. Well, thank you for coming up and chatting with us. We're going to take another timeout. We'll be back with second half action here in a couple of minutes. You're listening to the Kaleidoscope Digital Services Halftime Show. We'll be right back.
The Harrisonville Square is quickly becoming a shopping destination, and a big reason why is Birdie's Boutique and Antiques at the corner of Lexington and Pearl Street. Birdie's offers a unique combination of fashionable clothing, furniture, accessories, home decor, and gifts. For the ladies in your life, it's the place to take them. With a little bit of everything, they are sure to make you leave with something new. So the next time you want to go shopping, head up to Historic Square and check out Harrisonville's newest hot spot for fashion, Birdie's Boutique and Antiques. It's happened to all of us, running a few minutes late and not enough time to drive somewhere to get out and go in to get a coffee, tea, latte, or delicious muffin or cinnamon roll. Good news, Brew Daddy's Coffee is now open and boasts Harrisonville's only drive-through coffee shop. Quick, convenient, and delicious is exactly what Brew Daddy's is for you. Opening at 6 a.m. and staying open all afternoon on Fridays to give you that caffeine boost before the game. Brew Daddy's Coffee right next to Commerce Bank on Commercial.
Talk. What happened?
Teammates on a football field are a must. That's why Cameron Chenoweth of American Family and Lacey Dominick of Shelter Insurance are teaming up to give you options in the insurance market. They know you have choices, and they want to work together like the Wildcat football team to make sure you have the best insurance coverage out there. To see what their team can do for you, call Cameron Chenoweth at 816-380-3996 and Lacey Dominick at 816-380-2700. One of the scariest things to do is to take your car to a mechanic. No reason to be scared when you have the best mechanics around right here in Harrisonville. Colby and the crew at Colby's Car Clinic are all ASE certified mechanics with the latest equipment to keep your vehicle running smoothly year in and year out. Add new tires and being a rough country lifts and accessory dealer, Colby's Car Clinic takes the fear out of getting your car fixed. So give Colby a call at 816-380-3000 or go see them in the big blue building behind O'Reilly's.
All right, welcome back to Memorial Stadium on the campus of Harrisonville Middle School in Harrisonville, Missouri. It is halftime. It is your Kaleidoscope Digital Services halftime show, and it's been all Kearney Bulldogs in the first half of this one. We got about 3 or 4 minutes to go before we get to second half action. Our bright spot brought to you by Schroeder Chiropractic, talking about bright futures, one of our great community involvement things through the school district. I know Jill Filer, Jennifer Beavers do a lot with Bright Futures to make sure kids, have meals at home in the weekends. There's extra clothing, there's toiletries. They're doing stuff all season long. Our bright spot brought to you by Schroeder Chiropractic. They've got your back. Gary, not a whole lot. You don't want to sit and harp on it. It's over, it's done with. Let's go play some football in the second half and see how things turn out.
As you said, wad it up and throw it away. It's in the past. Short memories and learn from your mistakes and move forward. That's what a good team does. Harrisonville has traditionally been that, and I see us continually doing that. I mean, who likes to be at this position? Learn and move forward.
You know, and we talked about it a little bit ago, but, 2016, they hit a rough stretch. 3-game losing streak. They lost 49-0 to Platte County and ended up beating Platte County, on the other hand, was beaten by this Kearney Bulldog team twice that season, and Harrisonville came out and drubbed Kearney in the state championship game. And you know what? There's probably a little bit of animosity on that Kearney sideline. I know that some of those sophomore kids, they're thinking, hey, we got it handed to us at the state title game. We want a little bit of revenge here tonight. So I understand that part of it too. So, it's just like a perfect storm in that first half. And, it is what it is. And one of the things I've loved, I always say the mark of a good coach and a good coaching staff is not losing your team. And that's been a amazing part of Coach Maxwell's teams over his first 3 years, this now being his 4th season, is they've hit rough patches and they've been able to bounce out of it. They were 3-3 both of the last 2 seasons, and one ended in a state title, the other one ended with a district championship. They came away with hardware both of those seasons. So you're 0-1, you're not 0-9 in your season over if you lose this ball game. So that's just one of those things. You got to take care of business in the second half, and that's what they're going to try to do here and see what happens, and go from here and you grow and build on it.
Absolutely.
Moxie, short-term memory, they got to have it here in the second half.
Sure.
So, all right, we're going to take another timeout. We'll be back with your second half kickoff. Thanks for joining us for the Kaleidoscope Digital Service halftime show on the Harrisonville Square. It's your one-stop for printing, computer service, Wi-Fi, and gaming. Go see Harrisonville's best computer solutions at Kaleidoscope Digital Services. We'll be back right after this.
It's 6 p.m. and your family is discussing what to eat for dinner. We've all been there. Everyone wants something different. So make it simple. Go to Forged by Fire in Harrisonville for a little bit of everything. Salads for mom, and a wide variety of them at that. The steak for dad, a Boss Burger for your growing boy, and chicken strips for the little one. The next time you need a variety of food with extra options to satisfy everyone in the family, make the one stop to Forged by Fire in the Price Chopper Shopping Center on Commercial.
Everybody has that one friend's house they love to go to with cool decorations and a relaxed environment. The Garage Burgers in Harrisonville is like your friend's house, an amazingly fun place with names of all of its visitors adorning the walls with old racing gear throughout. Make it your place to go next time you want a fun and terrific dinner. With 20-plus burgers, amazing appetizers, and ice-cold drinks, the Garage is your stop for fun and excitement. Now open late on Fridays. The Garage Burgers on Commercial across from Young's Tire.
Hello and welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Harrisonville, Missouri, on the campus of Harrisonville Middle School. Halftime here. It's been all Kearney, 39-0 our score. Second half set to come your way. Ket's going to get the ball to start this second half of action. This kickoff going to be brought to you by Brew Daddy's Coffee, Harrisonville's only drive-through coffee shop. Kick off your morning at Brew Daddy's next to Commerce Bank on Commercial. There's been many a times my wife has been running a little bit late and she's gone to get coffee and is even more late. And I said, this is the perfect thing for you, a drive-through coffee shop. You don't have to get out of your car. You're running a little late. Go grab coffee. Brew Daddy's Coffee Shop. So Frizzle set to kick it deep, kicking from the right to the left. Cat's going to go left to right. Cat's in their home blue tops, blue helmets, white pants, white numbers, white letters, along with the Wildcat on the helmet. And we're waiting for the kick, high and over end kick, and through the end zone again. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20. I've said it for years, Gary, one of the best weapons you can have on a high school football field is a great kicker. And he has kept Harrisonville deep in its own territory all night long.
Oh, yeah, and there's been those years that we had good kickers. We were successful. That's not the only thing that makes you successful, but that is one aspect. A good kicking game can make a difference because a lot of times it's the same. In this youth, they either kick and pump both.
Well, you look, the 07 team, when I first started, you had Dallas Herndon back in the day, kicking field goals. Great kicker. You have Ben Styron, who's now kicking down at Missouri S&T. So they've had a history of having some good kickers. Have the Wildcats. Obviously, we haven't had a chance to see one of our kickers yet tonight. So Split back veer formation. Right up the middle they go, and it'll be Landon George to the 30, past the 30 to the 33 for a first down for the Wildcats. That first down brought to you by Troby's Maytag Home Appliance Center. Think Troby's first when you think home appliance. All right, going to be a 1st and 10 for the Cats up to the 33-yard line. That option mesh play right there, and George was able to find a seam, and the Cats get 13 yards to start it. So it'll be 1st and 10. Split back set in the backfield. Under center is George. And George this time going to hand it off to Crowley, and Crowley going to barrel forward for about 5 yards. Just looks like a different team, almost like they talked about things we talked about at halftime, Gary, and that's just go out there and play the second half and see what happens. So it'll be 2nd down and 5. Looking to the near sideline for the play call. Under center is going to be George. Split backs in the backfield. Ball to 38. George nowhere to go as he was looking for a handoff. That was a missed assignment there. But George able to make something out of nothing. Got a yard there. And, you know, that's what you need from your quarterback is when there's a busted play, you got to be able to make something or not turn it into a catastrophe.
Yeah, and that's what they teach them. If the running back's not there, no matter whose mistake it is, you don't think about it. You just go, you follow your center or your guards to wherever you can get at least some yardage. So
3rd and 3 coming up. Under center is George. And here we go. George looking to pass, and he throws it in the flats. Under throws his target, Knowles, and going to bring up 4th down. I'll tell you what happened on that play right there, Gary. That was trying to get rid of the ball quick because you've been under pressure all night long, and he just threw it behind his receiver right there. So punt coming up for the Wildcats. Clock will roll here in the second half with it being a 35-point-plus lead. Knowles stands at about his own 30. He's had a good punt and a not-so-hot punt here tonight. And this time he's going to kick it away. Low liner goes inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line where it'll be downed. So flips of field position a little bit here. 30-plus yard punt for Colby Knowles. There is a flag at midfield. We'll see personal foul on Kearney. So that'll push them inside of their own 20 at about their own 13-yard line.
Personal foul against Kearney.
You know, that's something we haven't talked about. Kearney has had probably 4 or 5 personal fouls, unsportsmanlike conduct calls in this ball game. They're going to have to mark this one off. So the ball's down at the 14 is where they're going to mark it. So 1st and 10 for Kearney from their own 14. And field position has not been a matter to the Bulldogs. Short field, long field, they've scored both ways. And they're throwing 14. Pistol formation, Amu has Connery in the backfield. Wide receiver to the left, wide receiver to the right, 9:14 to go here in the 3rd. And Amu hands off to Connery, and Connery behind his line of scrimmage gets nowhere. Actually going to lose a couple of yards. Brings up a 2nd down and long. So the clock rolls here in the 3rd. We're going to lose about 3 on that one. Going to bring up 2nd down and 13. So 2 wide receivers out to the right side for the Bulldogs. In their away, white top, white bottoms. Clean looking uniform with just the numbers and letters on it. The purple helmet with the shiny gold emblem of the K. Roll out pass to the far sideline. Caught and broken tackle for a 1st down. And it's going to be up to about the 28-yard line. And that's just a missed tackle right there by Tarwater on the far side. Those are ones you either got to knock them out of bounds or wrap up and tackle them because that turned it into a 1st down. It would have been a 3rd down and long for Kearney. So 1st and 10 up to the 26-yard line. Amu gets his play from the sideline. He's got 2 wide receivers to his left side this time. Connery behind him in the backfield with 7:47 to go here in the third quarter of this one as clock is rolling. Kearney leads it 39-0. Pistol formation for Amu. Going to make a man in motion from left to right. Hand it off to Connery. Follows the blocker off of the end right side. Going to get about 5, 6, maybe 7. And brought down by a host of Cats on the far side. So 2nd and about 4. So wide receiver left, wide receiver to the right. Back off the end for the Bulldogs. Pistol formation again. Connery, fake handoff to him from Amu, and he's being chased out of the pocket. Throws it in the flats for Connery. Connery gets a couple and going to be close to a first down. And again, a busted play turns into several yards. The Cats just a half step slow here so far tonight. Brings up a 3rd down and short for the Kearney Bulldogs. So again, another missed opportunity in the backfield and that little, safety valve to the running back, and they were able to get close to a first down. Brings up 3rd and short, Gary. So 3rd down and short. Amu in that pistol has Connery behind him in the backfield. And up the middle, they're going to go to Connery. 1st down plus, and he gets up to the 40-yard line, and a flag.
Number 34 takes it to the 40. That's Patrick Connery. And on the stop, number 52, Carson Graff, number 23, Jaden Wilson.
And there is a flag we'll see. It looks like it's in the
Gonna be
holding, which will help the Cats out. It's like Jaden Wilson might have got his hand smashed in between a couple of helmets there. And now he's just kind of moving his arms around. So penalty, now a mistake on Kearney's part, pushes them back. With 6:11 to go.
So 3rd down and 9.
So turns it into a 3rd and short to a 3rd and 9.
27.
Wide receiver left, wide receiver right, pistol formation for Amu. Has Connery behind him in the backfield. 3rd and long for the Bulldogs from their own 25. And the blitz coming. Amu throws it right over the middle, and he's got Connery for a first down. And into the secondary he goes to the 30, to the 20. Chased down by Wilson down at the 10-yard line. Not to put any pressure on any one player, that play does not develop and happen with Isaiah Patrick in the middle of your defensive backs, or in the middle, I should say, of your linebackers as a middle linebacker. As that was just all little dump pass over the middle, and Kearney in position again all the way down to the 10-yard line of the Wildcats. And it's just been that kind of night is like just they're just so close, and then Kearney, and that shows Kearney being a good football team. They seize their opportunities they've had tonight that the Wildcats have given them. So 1st and 10 from about the 12. Again, pistol formation for Amu. He's got a man in motion left to right, and they're going to go off to the right side. Connery chases to the outside and chased down from behind, and about 6 or 7 Wildcats ride him down at a 10-yard line. Bring up 2nd down and long for the Wildcats, or for the Bulldogs, I should say.
That's 22 carries for Connery for exactly 200 yards, and he's got 4 catches for 77, so he's got 277 yards of their total offense. So you mentioned earlier what they had coming back was quarterback and running back. The quarterback and running back have done a lot of this because the quarterback has been able to roll out and be able to find Connery on passes.
And so they roll out this time, find a man in the flats, Stevens, and he's going to break a couple of tackles inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. So Jacob Stevens gets close to a first down. Going to bring up 3rd and about a yard. Isaiah Patrick comes back into the ballgame on short yardage situation here. So 3rd down and short, 4 minutes to go here in this one. Cats will go on the road for 2 ball games after this one. as they will travel up to Maryville, home of the Maryville Spoof Hounds, next Friday night, the defending Class 3 state champion. So it doesn't get any easier for the Cats next week. In motion from right to left they go. Pistol formation right up the middle. Touchdown, Connery.
Touchdown for Kearney.
And it's 45-0 with 3:33 to go here in the bowl, or the third quarter, I should say. So 3:33 to go here in the third. It's been all Kearney Bulldogs. Another big play on this drive. A third down dump pass over the middle to Connery. Gives them a touchdown after a short field.
Kick is up.
Kick is up and good.
The kick is good.
And it's 46-0, 3:33 to go here in the ball, or the third. We'll be back after this.
Perfect on his point after snap, including a 45-yard field goal.
When you live in a small town, you need someone you can trust to buy a used car from. Steve Holland with Holland Auto Sales is that guy. Selling cars in Harrisonville for 35 years gains you that trust. Used car dealers can come and go, but not Steve. Holland Auto Sales, with 3 generations of Hollands graduating from Harrisonville, means he will be here for years to come. So go see the guy who the Grammer family trusts to buy from, Steve Holland with Holland Auto Sales on Commercial Street.
We'll just get it
past
next
Burger
week,
King.
and
Still haven't heard.
She hadn't heard Sherwood yet.
we'll be inside next week, huh?
We'll be good. Tell me when. All right, welcome back. Kickoff brought to you by our friends at Brew Daddy's Coffee. Kick off your morning at Brew Daddy's, Harrisonville's only drive-through coffee shop. Right next to Commerce Bank on Commercial Street. If people do not know where it is, they do now, because we have talked about Brew Daddy's tonight, and glad to have a drive-through coffee shop here in Harrisonville. 3:33 to go here in the third. Kearney set to kick it off. Cats down 46-0 in this one.
You know, she can be putting on her makeup and still getting her coffee at the same time. But she better not be driving, Angie.
I was like, coming from a highway patrolman, Gary Davidson.
No, I wanted to make sure that we preface that by saying she is not going to be driving with it. She's sitting waiting for it.
So speaking of highway patrolman, we were talking about Gary is going to be retiring at the end of the season. Or at the end of the year. I keep saying season. You'll be around after the season. He's not retiring from us, thank goodness. But at the end of the year, you're retiring. And your son, Zach Davidson, is going to be done with the Highway Patrol or Academy at the end of the year, and you get to give him your badge number.
He'll graduate on the 21st. I'll be able to give him his commission on the 21st. He's badge 1155, but he'll never hit the road. He'll never have a car with 1155, because on the 31st I'll retire, and the 1st he'll be able to take my badge number, which is kind of cool. I'm kind of that's kind of humbling that he wants it number 1.
I think it's really cool. I was talking to somebody about it earlier this week, and I said that is just something awesome that you're able to do. That as you retire, Davidson will still be out on the road. Obviously, you've been in a different division. I don't know if you were per se to talk about that. but Gary's a secret agent, really. We talk about this. No. I give you a little bit of a hard time about it. The other day he said something. I hadn't talked to him in like 2 weeks. I said, I'm beginning to think you're a CIA operative or something. But nevertheless, it's really cool. I'm glad you get to do that. I may have to go see that if I get a chance to, because I think that'd be really cool.
Well, his mom and I are very proud, that he's followed our footsteps. Obviously, we want him to stay safe in his career. But here we go for our time for the series. 1st
and 10, split back formation. George still in there, and he throws it into the flats for Percival, and I was waiting for the flag. Percival tried to turn around and wasn't able to turn around as he was just grabbed from behind. And, Gary, something we haven't talked about before, thanks for your service. Obviously, all the Leos out there, law enforcement officers. In today's day and age, it's more dangerous than it's ever been, and we appreciate everything you guys have done.
All we ask is that everybody, keep all law enforcement officers and all of our military and their veterans, the families in their thoughts and prayers, because obviously it's getting a little bit more difficult as the years go on. So
it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Cats up to the 35-yard line. Landon George going to be under center, split backs in the backfield, wide receiver left, wide receiver to the right. And here they go up the middle. That'll be Crowley for a gain of about 4. And it brings up a 2nd down, and they're going to mark it a 5-yard gain. So they're going to mark it for 5. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 5 from the 40-yard line.
About 5 yards of the play. Call it 5 exactly.
My wife just texted.
Oh, I'm sure.
Definitely coffee and makeup at the same time. The split backs in the backfield, wide receiver to the left, wide receiver to the right. And they're going to go on a counter, and they got running room to the 45, cut back to midfield is Percival. So he was a little decoy off the end on the counter, and he gets a gain of 10 up to midfield for the Wildcats, and it brings up a 1st and 10. And that's a Troby's Maytag Home Appliance 1st down. Think Troby's first when you think home appliances.
And we ran that last year. I love that play. You got to set it up. It's not going to happen the first play of the game, but I love that play. It's that counter. You've got everybody going the other way. That's what they're expecting, and you're able to bring that back in.
So we got split backs in the backfield. Wilson, Crowley in the backfield, wide receiver to the left, wide receiver to the right, at midfield. Under center is George. George looking to pass this time. Goes right up the middle, pulls it down into Kearney territory, down to the 38-yard line for another Wildcat 1st down. Down to the 38-yard line. Think Troby's Maytag Home Appliance Center first when you think home appliances.
This is the type of drive we needed to have. I mean, we've got 43. We went 43 yards in about 3 or 4 minutes here. And this is the type of drive we need for some consistency and put a little moxie back in our step.
Wide receiver left, wide receiver right, again, that split back veer formation. And here we go up the middle for Wilson, and Jaden Wilson going to break a tackle, get a couple. Down to the 35-yard line. Jaden Wilson, his cousin would be Frankie Jackson. Frankie Jackson is Jaden Wilson's cousin. So the new head coach of the Butler Bears, we got a player down on the ground.
And that's him. That's
Jaden.
Wilson.
So not sure. Maybe it looks like a cramp the way that they're maybe working him out. I think it's just a cramp. And I'm going to tell you, folks, there is nothing that hurts worse than a Charlie horse in the back of your calf. We'll take a quick timeout here on the injury. We'll be right back.
It's never too early to teach your little ones about finances and saving money. Sherwood Community Bank has plenty of options available for you to help kids save and learn how to manage money. Savings accounts can be started as soon as one is born to help teach them to save. Once they are behind the wheel, a checking account with free internet banking and a debit card could be there for them to manage their money. Sherwood Community Bank is there for the youngsters. Just ask Braxton.
Go see them at Sherwood's Bank. That's where my account is.
Welcome back. 1:09 to go here in the third. Jaden comes off the field, going to bring up a 2nd down and about 8 to go.
And that was Braxton's. You just listen to Braxton talk and give his debut, I would say, of commercials.
Yeah, and, the scary part is that he enjoyed that, so we may have to do more in the future. We'll see. And the good pitch to the backfield and a little bit of running room inside the 30 to the 28-yard line, close to a 1st down. Jace Reynolds, the freshman, brother Wyatt Reynolds, one of the running backs for the Wildcats last year. So brings up a 3rd down and 1. So just close to a 1st down. So it looks like Crowley and Reynolds are going to be in the backfield. George going to be under center. Percival off the left end. Left wide receiver will be Knowles, in tight on the right side. So here we go. False start, illegal procedure on the Cats.
We'll wait for the call, and there it is. It's going to be a procedure call against the
Which, again, Cats kind of shooting themselves in the foot there. Gary, they had a 3rd and short. Now it becomes a 3rd and about 6 for the Wildcats. Just kind of been that type of night for the Cats.
You got to believe, though, they're here in four down territory. I mean, they've had a good drive so far, I think 6 or 7 plays. And they started the drive on the 20, and now they're on the 33. So
here we go, 3rd down, split back formation in the backfield. The handoff right up the middle they go to Jace Reynolds again. And you would have thought Wyatt was in the ball game, just similar type. That is the end of the quarter. So Jace Reynolds with a little bit of a spark brings up 4th down and short for the Cats. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with your 4th right after this.
There are a million places to buy a used car, so why not go somewhere you know lives by the Show Me State motto? The staff at Show Me wants to show you that Show Me spirit. Excellent service, affordable prices, and even loaners while you get your cars serviced. With 2 locations to serve you in Harrisonville and Belton, they will put you in your dream car, truck, or SUV, and if they don't have it, they'll find it for you. So drive on over to Show Me Auto Mall and drive away with your next car.
Welcome back. We're getting ready to start the 4th quarter. It's been all Kearney in this one, but Cats, again, you talk about a coaching staff. I like the way they're playing here in the second half. They're not running around with their heads down. They're playing football as if they're right in that ball game right now, and that's what you got to see, that they're still fighting out there.
first time they had 4 plays. They ended up punting after 4 plays. This, I think they've got 6 or 7 plays, but they've got 62 yards. They've got 4th and short. I believe they'll be able to make a 4th down here and continue the drive, and this is what they need for some confidence. Really, they need this. They really need this 4th down for some confidence. And I think they're going to get it.
George under center, inside the 30, about the 28-yard line. Not quite the 28 because that's where they got to get to. 4th down and short, Landon George under center. And this time they're going to go right up the middle. And again, a big gaping hole up to the 19-yard line.
Up the middle, takes it inside the 20-yard line.
And another flag. That may be a personal foul again on Kearney. We'll see.
Carson Crowley, number 22, the ball carrier.
So Crowley gets the 1st down. Crowley standing down at the 19-yard line still with the ball. I'm not sure what's going on. So the flag down there at the 19, I think it was a personal foul, but we'll see.
Well, they blown the whistle, and there were still people coming in.
And there was a timber after the whistle,
right.
So we'll see. And it is personal foul on the Bulldogs. And we talked about it. They've had several of those tonight. Has obviously not cost them, but at the same time, this pushes the Cats into the red zone where they have not ventured yet tonight.
Well, and that's 105 yards of penalties just for them. I mean, we talked about penalties for us. We're only at 67. That's 105 for them on, it looks like, about 10 penalties. So they're averaging a little over 10 yards a penalty.
So split back in the backfield, wide receiver out to your right side. Under center is George. And here we go, Landon George.
Oh, I love that counter.
Counter, and they're going to go to the
He's
outside.
Gonna
He's going to go to the 5 to the touchdown. Bryce Percival, 4-6. And the Cats are on the board with 10:37 to go in this one. 46-6 is the score. Extra point coming up. Brandon Johnson on to kick the extra point.
Coming out for the Blue.
River Riley got a whistle and a timeout Harrisonville here, as they didn't have all of their extra point team out there. So River Riley, your holder, as Johnson gonna be your kicker. So Brandon Johnson to kick the extra point after the timeout. Does your car need a timeout? Have them checked out at Young's Auto Repair right behind the garage on Commercial Street. So 10:03 to go here in the ball game. Cats trail at 46-6. Ready for an extra point coming up. So we're ready. Andrew Cecil to snap it.
Number 17, that's the sophomore, Brandon Johnson.
So Cecil to snap, Riley to hold, Johnson to kick. And Brandon, and there it goes through River Riley's hands, and that's kind of somewhat how it's gone tonight for the Wildcats, as that one goes over the head. Brandon Johnson just got his license just a couple days ago. Saw that on Natalie and Mike's Facebook page. So they got another driver in the family. I think Mike and Natalie have like 19 kids. It feels like that sometimes. I believe they got 5, and they got 5 boys, all boys. So they stay busy. Xander, also one of their younger ones. He is a freshman this year on the team, recovering from a dirt bike accident. Had a punctured lung, I believe, and a couple of broken ribs. So hopefully he's healing up well. So
I want to talk about that last drive. 80 yards, 9 plays, 5.5-minute drive, ending in a touchdown. Truly, that is a confidence builder that keeps things in perspective of what they can do in the future.
that is our Show Me drive of the game, brought to you by Show Me Auto Mall. Harrisonville Wildcats with the drive here to start this into the first part of the fourth quarter. Like you said, they needed it. And you want a confidence booster? It's 7-6 after halftime. So, you know, and all of that was that one play on that one drive. It's just been one of those nights for the Cats. Johnson set to kick it deep. Kick off your mornings. Harrisonville's only drive-through coffee shop, Brew Daddy's, next to Commerce Bank. High end over end kick going to be taken up to 20 by the Bulldogs, up to the 25, to the 30, down the far sideline to the 35-yard line it goes. Brew Daddy's Coffee, Harrisonville's only drive-through coffee shop. For great insurance coverage, go see Brad Sainer with Farmers Insurance in the A-frame on Commercial across from Casey's. Farmers has been there, covered that, just like the Cats covered that kick. 9:33 to go here in the ball game. Cats trail 46-6. It's like we have a different set of players in there for the Bulldogs. It's like number 1 and number 38, Walters in there, and the handoff goes to Weirs.
The sophomore running back, run down by number 56, Jacob Poisel. New quarterback for the Kearney Bulldogs, John Walters. He's a junior. Replacing on the senior. Late in this ball.
So also in the ball game, Walters.
8-yard gain on the last play, second down and 8.
So 2nd and 2 coming up for the Bulldogs, up to the 43-yard line, just outside of Wildcat territory. Wide receiver left, wide receiver right, pistol formation for Walters as Wares behind him. Hands it off to Wares, and Wares going to go right up the middle and met by a whole line of Wildcats. Brings up 3rd down now for the Bulldogs. And I'll tell you, Gary, obviously our way too early predictions on the season, but if the Cats were able to run the table or win their district going down the road, the way it looks like it sets up to me in the playoffs is we would play the winner of District 7, which could very well be the Kearney Bulldogs. So these Harrisonville Wildcats very well could play this Kearney Bulldog team again later in the season.
And, you know, it's hard to win a – I thought there was a false start. Finish in just a second.
Right up the middle, and not quite a first down. Cats are going to get the stop. Jacob Poisel with the hit, going to bring up 4th down and a yard. on the Wares carry. But, you know, it's one of those things. Beat them once, beat them twice, it gets a little bit harder.
It makes it very difficult for any team that's played early in the season to beat them a second time of the season, especially these two types of teams. This is a different game tonight than it's going to be in week 11 or 12.
And you know, they're 16 and 17-year-old kids, and you've got to remember that part of it too, because if they were to play later in the season in the playoffs, Kearney's going to have a little bit of we whooped them the first time around, and they're going to be thinking to themselves, oh, well, we've got this one in the bag type of deal. So this is probably not the type of game Kearney probably wanted. They probably wanted a kind of hard-fought game to where if they were to play later on down the road, what they would think. So 6:51 to go. Kearney going to punt it away here as Stevens back to punt it for the Bulldogs after the delay of game penalty. So it moves it back to their own 38-yard line and 6:34 to go. Couple of cats back. It looks like Tarwater and Reynolds back to return this one. On 4th down and about 4. Oh, bad snap, but picked up by Stevens. A high end over end kick, and it's going to bounce at about the 42 and bounce backwards towards midfield, and it'll be Cats ball at their own 46-yard line with 6:05 to go in this one. That was another kick return. Remember to join the Sonic kick return contest. Tonight's contestant, Jolene Francie, and if a kick is returned during the game, someone will win a $50 Sonic gift card. If it goes over week to week, we add $10 a week to it, Gary.
Does that?
Oh, and for being tonight's contestant, Jolene Francie wins a $10 Sonic gift card.
Now, is that only kickoff or is that punt? Because I want to make sure here, if I enter this, I want to make sure if it's just a kickoff or.
I think to tell you the truth, well, we I think are excluded from the contest.
Oh, shucks.
So, because Angela already asked this earlier, she goes, "Oh, so can I sign up?" And I go, "Yeah, I don't think that'll work. That probably wouldn't sound so hot if Angela Grammer's the contestant one week."
Especially if I got to draw, or no, I guess it wouldn't be. There was no drawing about that, but.
So it'll be River Riley into the ball game for the Wildcats. Split backs in the backfield. Wide receiver to your left, wide receiver to your right. 5:58 to go, and we are back to action here. Ball close to midfield. Right up the middle they go. Jace Reynolds with the handoff gets into Kearney Bulldog territory down to the Kearney 47-yard line.
The lead tackler is number 46, is Chase Blackman.
And a cat goes down on the field. I believe that's Isaac Gregson, number 63. So it looks like a whole host of different Wildcats into the ball game here. We'll try to get some names and numbers as we roll things down with 5:39 to go, and we have another timeout on the field. If your car needs a timeout, go see Young's Auto Repair behind the garage on Commercial Street. They will take care of you. So, some positives second half. That drive, you talked about it, the Show Me Auto Mall drive of the game was a good one by the Cats. They needed that confidence booster in this ball game, and they got it with that drive.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be something that they're going to be able to utilize to take with them next week as we go to Iowa. Almost to Iowa, to Maryville.
Correct.
You got to pack a lunch to get there, but as we go up there next week and play I'm sure a very good Maryville team. They always are, and we need to be prepared for that. And so I think we can take the positives that we had tonight, take the negatives and build on those and improve on those. Like you said, the last 2 years they've been 3-3, and one time they went to and won state. So, and they got pummeled that year, like you were talking about, up by Platte County. So, hey, this is a learning experience, young group of kids, and we got to remember these kids are And I call them kids, 15, 16, 17, and 18 years old.
Well, you know, we've caught a lot of juniors and sophomores' names tonight.
And freshmen.
So it isn't as if, you know, they're not going to be around for a while. So wide receiver left, wide receiver right, Riley under center. Split backs in the backfield. This time they're going to go right up the middle with it. See who that was for the Cats.
Breaks up third down. Drayton Polk, the sophomore running back.
Polk, the running back.
Down, the ball carried. Down by number 44, Anthony Wadsworth. Junior defensive end.
Drayton Polk brings up a third down and about 4.
Officials got the ball at 46-yard line of the Bulldogs.
Checking out of the ball game was Sean Carruthers. We got Andrew Cecil out to the near side, wide receiver to the right side as well. Under center is Riley. Split backs in the backfield. And they're going to go on a little counter play. On to the outside, cut back, and back the other way they go.
And with the first
Norris
down.
Vance gets a first down.
The ball carried. They'll take it to the 42-yard line.
So Cats move the chains as the clock rolls. 4.5 to go in this ball game. 46-6 the score. And I like the move by Coach Maxwell too, is getting his starters out of this ball game. Less than 8 minutes to go, you know that you're probably not going to come back and win this ball game. Getting some experience in here and keeping your kids healthy, because that's going to be the key to this first 4 weeks for the Wildcats. Counter, nowhere to go.
Well, that was an exchange fumble there between the center and quarterback.
So the Bulldogs come up with it with 3:53 to go. So the Kearney Bulldogs take over.
To play in the contest. The Bulldogs come up with the big skin. They recover at their own 42-yard line between the seams.
Several new Wildcats out there, looks like. Sean Carruthers out there in the secondary. Jace Reynolds out there. Zach Cheney on the far side. Jacob Poisel also in there. And here we go. Whistle and an offside. Brody Rogers still in there, though, I see. Ball start. And Miles Jennings in there as well. Several checking out here. Ethan Murray on the line of scrimmage now. Colin Carruthers on the left end, playing outside linebacker, it looks like. And
I've seen a lot of offsides, but that he can't claim anything, but because he was 10 yards down the field.
That was Cage Schwarzenbach from Kearney, and I could be wrong, but I wonder if he was going to get that pass thrown his way, because he was pretty excited. And sometimes you see those kids come into a ball game, it's like, I'm getting a pass, I'm getting a pass, I'm getting a pass. But nevertheless,
we're not laughing at you, we're laughing with you, because we have all been there. And those times when you're young, you really want to enjoy the time when you've got the time on the field.
I remember in junior high, there was a rule when I played junior high football. I was out wide receiver right up the middle. Kearney goes, and they're going to push it back close to the original sticks. And you could get a penalty in junior high football if you didn't have your mouthpiece in. Here's Chad Grammer standing over at the side, just like this, with my mouthpiece dangling down. Penalty flag on Chad for not having his mouthpiece in. Pretty sure I ran a couple of laps for that one. So, yes, we've all been there and done that. So, wide receiver to the left, wide receiver to the right. Pistol formation in the backfield for the Bulldogs. 2:15 to go in this one. Kearney with the commanding lead. Back the other way for Wares, and backside tackle by the Wildcats. 41, Josh Pesic with the tackle. Makes it a 3rd down and 10
And that was one of the freshmen we were talking about. And I don't think he's the only freshman out there, but that tells you what this team has coming in the coming years. Don't want to say anything, give up anything about this year, but they have got a lot of talent coming up in the future.
Absolutely. And I mean, you look in their backfield. You've got a junior running back there. You have a junior quarterback. You have a junior and a sophomore wide receiver starting for this team. You go down the offensive line, your left side of your offensive line. Brody Rogers is a junior left tackle. Trevor Campbell is a sophomore left guard.
Who started last year.
Absolutely. So there's some youth on there. So like you said, you've talked about it a little bit. We got another timeout on the field. Remember, if your car is having a timeout, go see Young's Auto Repair behind the garage on Commercial Street. They will take care of you. 1:26 to go in this one. Cats trail 46-6. Positives to come out of the second half, though. They came out fighting. A lot more bounce in their step in the second half offensively. I felt like into this one, Gary, just the way that they handled themselves throughout the second half.
And it's a push the second half, all practical purposes. I knew we didn't get the extra point, but touchdown. I mean, so you've got to really give them a lot of credit for the preparation they made at halftime, the changes they made at halftime to be able to stop what was really a lot of bleeding in the first half. And here we go with looks like again a handoff in the backfield to 38. He's going to get a first down.
And helped out by the Wildcats there, chucked forward for another 5 or 6 yards, but it'll be a first down to about the 46-yard line. That was Ethan Murray on the tackle. 1 minute to go here in the contest. Cats trail in this one. You know, we talked about it. Braxton talked about it. Gary's talked about it. You probably don't even go watch a little bit of the game film on this one, but with your mistake part, a couple of your mistakes, and that's about it. And then you know what? You move on to next week and you start watching film on Sunday of the Maryville Spoofhounds. And a knee taken by the Bulldogs right at midfield in that pistol formation. So knee taken by Walters. And 25 seconds to go. Everybody making their way towards the field so they can go chat with their kids. And that'll be the ball game. They will not have to snap it anymore. Wildcats lose tonight 46-6 to the Kearney Bulldogs. We'll be back and wrap things up on your postgame show after this. Go see it, your postgame headquarters. Forged by Fire is your postgame headquarters. So go to Forged by Fire tonight after the ball game, and they will sponsor a postgame show. We'll be back after this.
When you want all the latest news about the Wildcats, turn to the South Cass Tribune. A large sports section, honor rolls, robotics, and even news and notes from all 6 Harrisonville campuses. They are sure to have you covered. They are happy to say the Wildcats are their hometown team. Find the Tribune around town at various establishments or get a subscription delivered right to your mailbox. Keep up with everything each week in the South Cass Tribune, Harrisonville's home news source. A strong starting lineup is a key to a great team. Insurance is no different, and Stafford & Stafford Insurance has the best lineup in town. With personal, commercial, health, life, farm, and crop insurance, they have you covered. 40-plus employees are there for you to find the best rates, walk you through claims, and make sure they are there for every step of the way. So if you're looking for a full-service insurance company with a strong starting lineup, go see the folks over at Stafford & Stafford Insurance on Commercial Street across from Holland Auto Sales.
You need multiple things for a project at home but don't want to go all over the city to find it? You need to go see Tom and Lonnie Cook at the 38,000 square foot Trade Fair Mall. Over 200 booths with Amish-made jelly, new and used furniture, antiques, toys, and a little bit of everything you can think of. Harrisonville's Trade Fair Mall can be your one-stop for everything. Whether it's your first time to Harrisonville or you've been here for years, the Trade Fair is definitely a see-it-to-believe-it type of place right across the street from Sutherland's.
What is your time worth? Think about it the next time you head to the city to spend hours and days shopping for home appliances and to save a few dollars. Instead, drive across town and see Erlene and her staff that's right here for your convenience. You can be in or out in a short amount of time with amazing service, a great product, and they always treat you like family. Located behind Hawthorne Bank on Plaza Drive, so spend all your extra time you saved cheering on the Wildcats, and remember, think Trobies first when you think of home appliances.
Go for it.
When you climb in your vehicle with your kids and head to the Wildcat game, you want to be safe. Make sure your tires are safe by visiting William and Michelle's at Young's Tire and Wheel Center. You might not need them today. William can give you a peace of mind by letting you know when you will. If tires are needed, they will get you the best tire on the market and Harrisonville's best tire warranty with free flat repair for life of the tire. So stay safe with new tires from Young's Tire and Wheel Center.
You need multiple things for a project at home but don't want to go all over the city to find it? You need to go see Tom and Lonnie Cook at the 38,000 square foot Trade Fair Mall. Over 200 booths with Amish-made jelly, new and used furniture, antiques, toys, and a little bit of everything you can think of. Harrisonville's Trade Fair Mall can be your one-stop for everything. Whether it's your first time to Harrisonville or you've been here for years, the Trade Fair is definitely a see-it-to-believe-it type of place right across the street from Sutherland's.
All right, welcome back to our post-game show, brought to you by our post-game headquarters, Forged by Fire. Go to Forged by Fire as soon as this game is over. Head that way. Forged by Fire, your post-game headquarters for 4T's Broadcasting and the Wildcats. So, Gary, we got some final stats, some final thoughts, and our max effort player of the game. Max Ford proud to sponsor the Max Effort Player of the Game. Max Ford of Harrisonville, the easiest place to buy a car.
I'm going to talk, as far as time of possession, each half was the same pretty much. We had it 11.5 in the first, 11.5 in the second. They had it 12.5 in the first, 12.5 in the second. But, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the thing about it is I like the second half. We came out, we made some adjustments, we played better. We controlled the clock. We had a really good drive that ended in a touchdown. So I think we've got to take that out of this and move forward and take it. Forget about the first half. What did you say? Wad it up and throw it away. We don't want to necessarily wad it up and throw it away. We want to take it into the locker room, review it, look at our mistakes, learn from the mistakes, make us better from that, and then move forward and become a better team. And we've done that in the past. We're traditionally like that, and I see nothing different this year.
We talked about it, Trophies aren't won in September, but they are in November. There's a lot of football season left to be played.
Oh, yeah. They doubled us in yards. We had about just a little under 200. They had almost 400. I got to give it to their running back. I got to hand it to the running back, Connery, I believe is his name. He ended up with 202 yards rushing on 23 carries, and he also had 77 yards on 4 receptions. And so, almost 300 of their 400 yards, so he basically did 3/4 of their offense. He's obviously a good player, and you always want to give kudos out to those players that you see that are good. And so I want to give kudos because he played a very good ball game tonight. We didn't give it to him. He worked for a lot of that. He had a lot of yards after contact, and so I want to mention him because he did a good job tonight for them.
And this game was just as much as we played poorly at times, was just about as how good Kearney played.
Sure.
You never know what to expect in a first game scenario. You never know how it's going to come out. Harrisonville has been traditionally playing these first game crazy contests since the beginning of time.
Pittsburgh last year, Platte County the year before.
Yeah. I mean, these early season games and even these these very first games of the year, we opened up with Elias for 3 or 4 years. We had some great contests. I remember a quarterback getting a 2-point conversion in double overtime to win it against Elias. And then I remember, Webb City, back-to-back years. That's a pretty hard way to start a year. But that speaks to the program that the Harrisonville Wildcats are. It speaks to a lot of teams will turn down playing the Harrisonville Wildcats. One of the reasons we're playing the Kearney Bulldogs, same situation for them. They've got 4 state titles on their sideline. They won it in 15. We won it in 16. Nobody wants to play these two. I mean, a bigger school doesn't want to play them because if they get beat, then it's no benefit for them. Smaller schools, they really don't want to play. Maryville next week, they're having the same problem Harrisonville and Kearney do. Nobody wants to play Maryville. So it's one of those things, and I don't say that arrogantly. That's just how it boils down. Some of these teams, if you're building a program, the last thing you want to do is play a Harrisonville in the first game of the regular season and get beat 42-0 because it serves you no purpose. It serves them no purpose.
Absolutely. And for us to play teams like this, it only makes us better. Look, since 2003 when I say kind of the run started, I mean, we've always played up, we've always played teams better than us at the beginning of the season to make us better, to make us make mistakes so we can improve on those and we can learn from those and be a better team at the end of the year. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
So our max effort player of the game, we will announce that online. I still want to talk to Coach Maxwell about that. We've got a couple ideas of maybe giving them some nominees. If I was to nominate a couple of players, I would say Isaiah Patrick. You got to nominate him going out there, coming back from knee injury. Called his name several times. Jacob Poisel on the defensive side. We called his name a ton tonight. He's coming off of catastrophic knee injury that he's finally getting to play. So those two on the defensive side. Landon George, I'm gonna nominate him as well because Landon took some licks back there tonight and stayed healthy, stayed under center, and he delivered some good throws. There was that one on third down. He held it to the very last second, got him a first down on 3rd and long. You don't see that out of a first-time, one-night starter a lot of times, and Landon delivered tonight at times.
Yeah, and you've got to hand it to him for that composure. Love that, and I think that's what it's what's gonna make us a better team as we move forward through the season.
So the Bulldogs moved to 1-0. The Wildcats fall to 0-1 to start the season. It doesn't get any easier for the Wildcats as they travel to Maryville next Friday night. If you cannot make the trip, you can always listen and watch live at 4Ts.com. We will have that game for you live next Friday night. We want to thank everybody for joining us and listening and watching along. For my videographer, Ron Olschlager, for the trusty producer, Jerry Forschler, for my color man, Gary Davidson, I'm Chad Grammer saying good night from Harrisonville. We'll see you next Friday in Maryville.